The nature of vivid dreams. Picture this moment. You wake in the early morning hours, your heart still racing from what felt like the most real experience of your life. Perhaps you are flying through vast canyons carved from sapphire stone, or walking through your childhood home that somehow contained rooms you had never seen before. Maybe you found yourself in conversation with someone who died years ago, their voice so clear and familiar that you could almost feel their presence lingering in the air around you as consciousness gradually returns. These are the moments when dreams transcend the ordinary boundaries of our sleeping minds. They become something more than fleeting images or confused memories. They become experiences so rich and detailed that they challenge our very understanding of what constitutes reality itself. When we speak of vivid dreams, we venture into territory that exists at the very edge of human consciousness. These are not the hazy, half-remembered fragments that slip away like smoke when we open our eyes. Instead, they are complete, fully formed experiences that engage every sense with startling clarity. The textures feel real beneath dream fingers. The colors appear more saturated than anything we might encounter in our waking world. Sounds echo with perfect acoustic precision through dreamscapes that follow their own unique laws of physics and possibility. In these vivid dream states, our minds construct entire universes with the same attention to detail that we might find in our most cherished memories. A dreamer might find themselves walking through a marketplace filled with vendors selling impossible fruits, each one possessing a distinct aroma that somehow makes perfect sense within the dream's internal logic. Another might discover they can understand the language of animals, engaging in philosophical discussions with creatures both familiar and fantastical. The vividness extends beyond mere visual spectacle. In these heightened dream states, emotions take on an intensity that can surpass even our most powerful waking experiences. Fear becomes a living thing that crawls through the dreamer's veins. Joy transforms into a sensation so pure and overwhelming that it seems to illuminate the very fabric of the dream world itself. Love, anger, wonder, and sorrow all amplify beyond their normal proportions, creating emotional landscapes that feel more real than reality. What immersed makes in the experience dream vivid involves a complex interplay of sensory detail, emotional intensity, narrative coherence, and something more difficult to define, a quality of presence that makes the dreamer feel fully unlike ordinary dreams, which often jump erratically from scene to scene without logical connection. Vivid dreams tend to maintain a consistent internal reality. The dreamer exists as a complete participant in this alternative world, not merely as an observer of random mental images. Consider the difference between watching a movie and living inside that movie as one of its characters. In ordinary dreams, we often feel like detached viewers, watching events unfold with only partial involvement. In vivid dreams, we become the protagonist of our own surreal adventures, making decisions that feel meaningful, experiencing consequences that carry emotional weight, and interacting with dream characters who seem to possess their own autonomous existence. The visual component of vivid dreams deserves special attention because it often serves as the foundation upon which all other dream experiences build. Dreamers frequently report seeing colors that don't exist in the waking world, hues that somehow convey meaning beyond their visual properties. They describe architectural impossibilities that make perfect sense within the dream. Staircases that spiral infinitely upward, doorways that lead to completely different climates, mirrors that reflect not the dreamer's face but their deepest thoughts made visible. Lighting in vivid dreams often defies natural laws yet feels completely appropriate. A dreamer might find themselves in an underwater palace illuminated by bioluminescent creatures, or walking through a forest where the trees themselves glow with inner light. These lighting effects don't just provide illumination, they contribute to the dream's emotional atmosphere, creating moods and feelings that enhance the overall experience. The auditory landscape of vivid dreams can be equally compelling. Dreamers report hearing music that surpasses anything they've encountered while awake, compositions so beautiful and complex that they desperately try to remember them upon waking, only to find that the melodies slip away like water through their fingers. Conversation's explanation. In vivid dreams often carry multiple layers of meaning, with words that convey not just their literal content, but emotional undertones and hidden knowledge that the dreamer somehow understands without touch and physical sensation. In vivid dreams present their own fascinating aspects. The dreamer's body might feel different, lighter, stronger, more flexible, yet these changes feel natural and expected. Their locations might experience sensations impossible in waking life. The feeling of growing wings and taking flight, the sensation of breathing underwater, or the peculiar experience of existing simultaneously in multiple temperature, texture, and physical comfort, all contribute to the dream's vivid quality. A dreamer might feel the exact sensation of warm sand between their toes while walking along an impossible beach where the waves are made of liquid starlight. Another might experience the comfort of a favorite childhood blanket, complete with its familiar weight and softness, even though that blanket was lost decades ago. The temporal aspect of vivid dreams adds another layer of complexity to their nature. Time often behaves differently in these dream states, stretching and compressing in ways that feel natural within the dream's context. A dreamer might spend what feels like days or even weeks within a single dream, living through complex storylines and character development that would require months to unfold in waking life. Conversely, entire lifetimes might flash past in moments, complete with decades of memories and experiences that feel authentic and meaningful. This temporal flexibility allows vivid dreams to explore themes and possibilities that would be impossible to experience in linear time. A dreamer might revisit crucial moments from their past with the knowledge and perspective of their present self, or experience potential futures with startling clarity and detail. They might live through alternate versions of important decisions, exploring the roads not taken with emotional depth and practical consequence. The social dynamics within vivid dreams often surpass the complexity of many real-world interactions. Dream characters frequently display personalities, knowledge, and perspectives that seem independent of the dreamer's conscious mind. These figures can surprise the dreamer with unexpected responses, novel ideas, and emotional reactions that feel genuine and spontaneous. A dreamer might find themselves in deep conversation with a wise elder who shares profound insights, or engaged in friendly competition with a rival who challenges them in ways that promote growth and understanding. Family members and friends who appear in vivid dreams often seem more themselves than their waking counterparts, expressing aspects of their personalities that might be suppressed or hidden during daily interactions. A limitations dreamer of might physical have the reality opportunity to resolve long-standing conflicts, express feelings that remained unspoken in life, or simply enjoy the company of loved ones in settings and circumstances that transcend the symbolic content of vivid dreams tends to be rich and multi-layered, operating on both literal and metaphorical levels simultaneously. A dreamer might find themselves climbing a mountain, an experience that feels completely physical and challenging within the dream. while simultaneously understanding that the journey represents their progress through a difficult period in their waking life. These symbolic elements don't feel forced or artificial. Instead, they emerge naturally as integral parts of the dream's narrative structure. Cultural and personal symbols weave throughout vivid dreams in ways that feel meaningful and significant. Animals might appear as guides or messengers, each one carrying symbolic weight that the dreamer instinctively understands. Natural phenomena, storms, rainbows, eclipses, often coincide with emotional or narrative climaxes, creating a sense of cosmic significance that enhances the dream's impact. The creative aspects of vivid dreams deserve particular attention because they demonstrate the mind's extraordinary capacity for innovation and imagination. In these heightened dream states, the brain creates art, music, literature, and inventions that often surpass the dreamer's conscious creative abilities. Artists throughout history have credited dreams with inspiring their greatest works, describing visions so vivid and complete that they needed only to translate what they experienced rather than create something entirely. Scientists and inventors have similarly found solutions to complex problems through vivid dreams, where the visual and emotional clarity of the dream state allowed them to perceive connections and possibilities that remained hidden during waking thought. The conscious molecular reasoning structure alone of benzene, the invention of the sewing machine, and countless musical compositions all trace their origins to vivid dream experiences that provided innovative insights, unavailable through the transformation of ordinary locations into extraordinary dreamscapes, represents another hallmark of vivid dreams. Familiar places, homes, schools, workplaces, become enhanced versions of themselves, expanded and modified in ways that reveal hidden potentials and unexplored possibilities. A childhood bedroom might grow to contain vast libraries filled with books that write themselves. A workplace might transform into a hub of creative collaboration, where every interaction leads to breakthrough discoveries. These transformations aren't random or chaotic. Instead, they seem to follow an internal logic that reflects the dreamer's deeper understanding of these locations and their significance. The dream mind takes the essential qualities of familiar places and amplifies them, creating environments that feel both nostalgic and revelatory. The phenomenon of recurring vivid dreams adds another dimension to our understanding of these experiences. When powerful dreams repeat over time, they often develop and evolve, building upon previous iterations to create increasingly complex and meaningful narratives. A dreamer might return repeatedly to the same dream location, each visit revealing new areas to explore or providing opportunities to interact with familiar dream characters in deeper, more meaningful ways. These recurring dreams often serve as ongoing dialogues between different aspects of the dreamer's psyche, allowing for the exploration of themes and issues that require extended contemplation and development. They might provide a safe space for processing difficult emotions, practicing new behaviors, or simply enjoying experiences that bring joy and wonder to the dreamer's inner life. The physiological aftermath of vivid dreams often lingers longer than that of ordinary dreams. Dreamers frequently report feeling emotionally affected by their vivid dream experiences for hours or even days after waking. The emotions experienced in the dream, whether joy, fear, love, or wonder, seem to carry over into waking consciousness, influencing mood and perspective in subtle but meaningful ways. This emotional carryover suggests that vivid dreams engage the same neural pathways and emotional systems that process waking experiences. The brain, in some fundamental sense, treats these dream experiences as real events worthy of emotional investment and memory consolidation. This neurological validation of dream experiences might explain why vivid dreams feel so significant, and why they often provide insights and perspectives that prove valuable in waking life. The cultural variations in vivid dream interpretation reveal the universal yet personally meaningful nature of these experiences. While the specific content and symbolism of vivid dreams vary greatly across different cultures and individuals, the underlying experience of heightened clarity, emotional intensity, and meaningful content appears to be a fundamental aspect of human consciousness that transcends cultural boundaries. Some cultures view vivid dreams as communications from spiritual realms, others as glimpses into alternate realities or future possibilities. Still others interpret them as products of the mind's natural processing systems, complex but ultimately material phenomena that reflect the brain's remarkable capacity for simulation and creativity. Despite these interpretational differences, the experiential reality of vivid dreams remains consistent. They feel significant, memorable, and often transformative for those who experience them. As approaching, we explore the mechanisms alternative the reality create these. Extraordinary nocturnal experiences, we begin to uncover the sophisticated neurological processes that transform ordinary dream content into something the unrestricted journey from understanding Slumber. State. What vivid dreams feel like to comprehending how the brain creates them reveals the remarkable complexity and beauty of human consciousness operating in its most creative and the science of REM sleep. Deep within the architecture of our nightly journey through unconsciousness lies a phase so crucial and fascinating that its discovery revolutionized our understanding of what it means to be human during the hours we spend away from. Waking awareness. This phase, known as rapid eye movement or REM, serves as the primary theatre for the most vivid and memorable of our dream experiences. 2. Understand how vivid dreams emerge from the darkness of our sleeping minds. We must first explore the intricate choreography that unfolds each night as our consciousness cycles through different stages of repose. The human brain does not simply shut down during the night hours. Instead, it embarks upon a carefully orchestrated journey through distinct phases of activity, each one serving specific functions in maintaining our mental and physical well-being. The night begins with what scientists call non-REM stages, periods during which brain activity gradually decreases from its waking levels. These stages serve as a bridge between the busy alertness of day and the more dramatic neurological events that await deeper in the night. During these early phases, thoughts become less coherent, external awareness fades, and the body begins its own process of restoration and repair. But it is when we enter REM territory that the true magic begins to unfold. Named for the characteristic rapid movements of the eyes that occur during this phase, REM represents a state of consciousness unlike anything else we experience. Paradoxically, while the body becomes almost completely paralyzed during REM episodes, the brain explodes into activity that often exceeds the intensity of our most engaged waking moments. The discovery of REM began in the 1950 when researchers Eugene Aserinsky and Nathaniel Pleitman noticed something remarkable happening to people as they dozed in their laboratory. Beneath closed eyelids, their subjects' eyes began darting back and forth in rapid, jerky movements. When awakened during these periods, the research participants invariably reported rich, detailed dreams filled with visual imagery and emotional content. When awakened during non-REM periods, dream reports were either absent entirely or consisted of vague, thought-like fragments lacking the vivid quality of REM dreams. This groundbreaking observation opened a window into the hidden world of dream consciousness and launched decades of research into the neurological foundations of our most mysterious mental experiences. Scientists more intense toward the soon morning discovered ours. That REM episodes don't occur randomly throughout the night but follow a predictable pattern, cycling approximately every 90 to 120 minutes and becoming longer, and the neurological activity during REM states reveals why dreams during these periods possess such extraordinary vividness and complexity. Brain imaging studies show that during REM, several key regions of the brain become highly active, sometimes displaying electrical activity patterns that exceed those found during alert waking states. The many visual waking cortex visual experiences responsible for processing and interpreting visual information shows particularly intense activation levels that help explain why dream imagery often appears more vivid and detailed than the motor cortex, which controls voluntary movements during waking life, also becomes highly active during REM phases. However, a remarkable safety mechanism prevents this increased neural activity from translating into actual physical movement. The brainstem releases neurotransmitters that effectively paralyze most voluntary muscles, preventing dreamers from acting out their dream scenarios. This REM atonia, as scientists call it, ensures that even the most physically active dreams remain safely confined to the realm of mental experience. The temporal pattern of REM throughout the night provides important clues about the relationship between these neural states and dream vividness. Early in the night, REM episodes tend to be brief and less intense, often lasting only a few minutes. The dreams from these early REM periods, when recalled at all, tend to be shorter and less elaborate than those occurring later in the sleep cycle. As the night progresses, REM episodes become progressively longer and more intense. The final REM period before awakening can last 30 to 45 minutes or even longer, providing ample time for complex, multi-layered dream narratives to unfold. This extended duration partially explains why morning dreams often feel so rich and detailed, and why they tend to be the ones we remember most clearly upon awakening. The brain chemistry during REM states undergoes dramatic shifts that contribute significantly to the unique quality of dream experiences. Levels of several key neurotransmitters fluctuate in ways that create an internal environment perfectly suited for the generation of vivid, emotionally intense, and often bizarre dream content. These consciousness neurochemical changes help explain not only why dreams feel so real while we experience them, but also why they often seem so strange and illogical when viewed from the perspective of waking. The electrical activity patterns during REM show fascinating similarities to those observed during waking states, particularly during periods of focused attention or emotional engagement. Electroencephalograph readings reveal brainwave patterns that closely resemble those of alert, actively thinking individuals. This network similarity employed during suggests conscious that awareness the dreaming brain is not simply replaying stored memories or engaging in random neural firing, but is actively constructing complex experiences using many of the same neural, the heightened coordination levels between different brain regions during REM creates an environment where normal cognitive constraints become relaxed, while emotional and sensory processing systems operate at the prefrontal cortex, responsible for logical reasoning, reality testing, and impulse control, shows decreased activity during REM states. Simultaneously, the limbic system, which processes emotions and motivations, becomes hyperactive. This neurological configuration creates conditions perfectly suited for the generation of emotionally intense experiences that follow dream logic rather than waking rationality. The relationship between REM intensity and dream vividness appears to be directly proportional. Nights when individuals experience particularly long or intense REM episodes tend to produce more vivid, memorable dreams. Conversely, when REM is shortened or interrupted, dream recall and vividness typically decrease correspondingly. This correlation suggests that the neurological conditions present during REM are not merely associated with vivid dreams, but are actually necessary for their generation. Research into REM deprivation has provided additional insights into the crucial role this phase plays in dream generation and overall mental health. When individuals are systematically awakened each time they enter REM, preventing them from completing these important sleep cycles, several significant effects emerge. Dream content becomes increasingly intense when REM is finally allowed to occur, suggesting that the brain has a fundamental need to engage in these vivid dream states. The timing of REM episodes throughout the night also correlates with variations in dream content and emotional tone. Burley. REM periods often generate dreams with more mundane or personally relevant content, while later episodes frequently produce more bizarre, creative, or emotionally charged experiences. This progression might reflect different aspects of the brain's nightly processing agenda, with various types of mental and emotional material being addressed during different phases of the REM cycle. Individual variations in REM patterns help explain why some people consistently experience vivid dreams, while others rarely recall dreaming at all. Some individuals naturally spend more time in REM states, experience longer REM episodes, or show higher levels of neural activity during these phases. These people. Constitutional differences in REM architecture can significantly influence both dream vividness and dream recall, creating the wide spectrum of dream experiences reported across different age-related changes in REM patterns. Provide additional evidence for the relationship between these sleep phases and dream experiences. Young adults typically spend about 20–25% of their total hours in REM states, with correspondingly high levels of dream activity and recall. As people age, both the total amount of REM and the intensity of neural activity during these phases tend to decrease gradually. This decline often coincides with reduced dream vividness and frequency, though individual variations mean that some older adults continue to experience rich dream lives throughout their lifespans. The discovery that REM occurs in cycles rather than as a single extended period has important implications for understanding dream experiences. Each REM episode represents a discrete opportunity for vivid dream generation, meaning that most people experience multiple distinct dream periods each night. However, the dreams from earlier cycles are often forgotten by morning, overshadowed by the more recent and usually more intense dreams from the final REM periods. The neuroplasticity evident during REM states suggests that these phases serve multiple functions beyond simple dream generation. The intense neural activity appears to facilitate various forms of learning, memory consolidation, and emotional processing. The vivid dreams that emerge from this neurological activity might represent the subjective experience of these important brain maintenance functions, providing conscious access to normally unconscious processes of mental organization and integration. Research into the effects of medications, substances, and medical conditions on REM patterns has revealed how sensitive these processes are to both internal and external influences. Many common medications suppress REM, often leading to decreased dream vividness and recall. Withdrawal from such medications frequently produces REM rebound effects, generating unusually intense and vivid dreams as the brain compensates for the previous suppression. The relationship between REM and circadian rhythms adds another layer of complexity to understanding dream generation. REM tendency follows natural daily cycles, with peak REM propensity occurring during the early morning hours when body temperature is at its lowest. This circadian influence on REM timing helps explain why afternoon naps, which occur during periods of naturally low REM tendency, tend to produce fewer vivid dreams than morning episodes. The evolutionary perspective on REM raises intriguing questions about the survival value of vivid dream experiences. Most evolution mammals display REM patterns similar to those found in humans, suggesting that these neurological states serve important biological functions that have been preserved across millions of years. The experience's fact that natural provides selection significant has maintained adaptive such advantages, metabolically expensive. Brain activity during periods when organisms are vulnerable to predation suggests that REM and its associated dream. Modern neuroscience has begun to identify the specific neural circuits responsible for generating and maintaining REM states. The complex interaction between brainstem regions, thalamic nuclei, and cortical areas creates the unique combination of muscle paralysis, heightened brain activity, and altered neurotransmitter balance that characterizes these fascinating phases of consciousness. Understanding these circuits provides insights into both normal dream processes and the various disorders that can disrupt healthy REM function. The study of REM continues to evolve as new technologies allow increasingly detailed observation of brain activity during these states. Advanced we know imaging as techniques vivid dreams reveal not only which brain regions are active during REM, but also how different areas communicate and coordinate with each other to generate the complex experiences these are. Discoveries continue to refine our understanding of how the sleeping brain creates experiences that can feel more real and meaningful than waking life itself. Brain chemistry of dreams within the intricate neural networks that generate our most vivid dreams lies a sophisticated chemical orchestra, one that transforms ordinary brain activity into the extraordinary experiences we encounter during our deepest moments. The neurotransmitters that flood our minds during dream states don't simply maintain basic brain function, they actively reshape reality itself, creating the neurochemical conditions necessary for consciousness to venture into realms impossible during waking hours. The story of dream chemistry begins with acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter that plays a crucial role in attention, learning, and memory formation during waking life. As the brain transitions into REM states, acetylcholine levels surge dramatically, reaching concentrations that often exceed those found during the most focused waking activities. This increase in acetylcholine triggers a cascade of neural events that fundamentally alters how the brain processes information and constructs experience. Acetylcholine acts as a master key, unlocking areas of the brain that remain relatively quiet during non-REM phases. It stimulates the visual cortex to create the rich imagery that characterizes vivid dreams, activates memory centers that weave together fragments of experience into coherent narratives, and energizes the emotional processing systems that give dreams their intense psychological impact. The abundance of acetylcholine during REM creates an environment where the brain becomes hypervigilant and hypercreative simultaneously. This neurotransmitter's influence extends beyond simple neural activation. Acetylcholine alters the way different brain regions communicate with each other, creating novel patterns of connectivity that don't occur during waking consciousness. Memory centers that normally operate independently begin sharing information freely. Sensory processing areas start generating input without any external stimulation. The logical control centers that typically moderate these processes find their influence dramatically reduced, allowing for the birth of experiences that transcend ordinary reality. The visual hallucinations that form the foundation of dream imagery emerge directly from acetylcholine's effects on the occipital lobe and related visual processing areas. Under its influence, these regions begin generating complex visual experiences from internal signals rather than external light patterns. The brain essentially begins seeing without eyes, creating detailed images, complex scenes, and impossible vistas using the same neural machinery that processes waking vision. But acetylcholine doesn't work alone in orchestrating dream experiences. Its effects interweave with those of dopamine, the neurotransmitter most closely associated with motivation, reward, and the pursuit of meaningful goals. During REM states, dopamine levels fluctuate in complex patterns that contribute to the emotional intensity and motivational drive often experienced in vivid dreams. Dopamine's presence in dream states helps explain why dream experiences often feel so compelling and significant to the dreamer. This neurotransmitter doesn't just create pleasure. It generates the sense that current experiences are important, worthy of attention, and potentially rewarding. In dreaming dreams state itself, dopamine can transform mundane scenarios into adventures, make ordinary interactions feel profound, and create the sense that dream events carry weight and consequence that extend beyond the dopamine system during dreams, appears to operate with fewer constraints than during waking life. Normal, impossible reality testing mechanisms, or bizarre dream that might scenarios moderate dopamine. Responses become suppressed, allowing this neurotransmitter to generate intense feelings of significance and reward, even in response to an internal dreamer might feel logic overwhelming. Joy at discovering they can fly, intense satisfaction at solving a problem that makes no logical sense, or deep motivation to pursue a goal that exists only within the dreams. This unconstrained dopamine activity contributes to the goal-directed behavior often observed in dreams. Even when dream logic defies rational analysis, dreamers frequently maintain strong motivations and work persistently toward objectives within their dream scenarios. They might search tirelessly for lost objects, pursue romantic relationships with dream characters, or struggle to reach destinations that seem perpetually just out of reach. The dopamine system provides the neurochemical drive that makes these dream pursuits feel urgent and meaningful. The interaction between acetylcholine and dopamine creates conditions particularly favorable for creative and novel experiences. Acetylcholine provides the neural activation necessary for complex information processing, while dopamine adds the motivational energy that makes these processes feel rewarding and worth pursuing. Together, they generate states of consciousness where the brain actively creates new experiences rather than simply reviewing existing memories. Serotonin introduces a third crucial element to the neurochemical symphony of dreams. During waking hours, serotonin helps regulate mood, impulse control, and social behavior. It acts as a moderating influence, keeping emotions within manageable ranges and ensuring that behavior remains appropriate to social contexts. However, during REM states, serotonin levels drop dramatically, sometimes falling to nearly zero in key brain regions. This serotonin suppression has profound implications for dream experience. Without serotonin's moderating influence, emotional responses become amplified and less constrained by social conventions. Fear can become overwhelming, terror, love can transform into obsessive passion, and anger can explode into violent rage, all within the safe confines of dream experience. The absence of serotonin's regulatory effects allows dreamers to experience the full spectrum of human emotion with an intensity rarely achieved in waking life. The loss of serotonin during REM also contributes to the bizarre and illogical nature of many dream scenarios. Serotonin normally helps maintain coherent thought patterns and logical reasoning. Without its influence, the mind becomes more willing to accept impossible situations, contradictory information, and rapid scene changes that would seem absurd during waking consciousness. A dreamer might find nothing strange about talking to deceased relatives, flying through solid walls, or existing in multiple locations simultaneously. Serotonin suppression also affects social inhibitions within dreams. Normal constraints on behavior, speech, and interpersonal interactions become relaxed or disappear entirely. Dreamers might engage in conversations they would never initiate while awake, express feelings they normally keep hidden, or behave in ways that contradict their usual social personas. This neurochemical disinhibition can lead to dream experiences that reveal hidden aspects of personality or allow for the exploration of suppressed desires and fears. The interplay between these three major neurotransmitters, acetylcholine, dopamine, and serotonin, creates a unique neurochemical environment that exists nowhere else in human experience. High acetylcholine activates the brain's creative and perceptual systems. Fluctuating dopamine provides motivational intensity and emotional reward. Suppressed serotonin removes logical constraints and social inhibitions. Together, they generate states of consciousness that are simultaneously hyperactive and unrestricted, creative and emotionally intense. Other neurotransmitters contribute additional layers to the dream chemistry experience. Norepinephrine, which helps maintain attention and alertness during waking states, drops to very low levels during REM. This decrease contributes to the reduced critical thinking and reality testing that characterizes dream consciousness. Without waking norepinephrine's thought, focusing influence, attention becomes more diffuse and associative. Allowing dream narratives to flow freely from one scene to another without the logical connections that would be required during GABA, the brain's primary inhibitory neurotransmitter, plays a complex role in dream DAS states. While overall GABA activity changes during REM, its distribution across different brain regions becomes uneven in ways that contribute to dream phenomena. Some areas experience increased GABA influence, leading to the muscle paralysis that prevents dream enactment. Other regions show decreased GABA activity, allowing for the uninhibited neural firing that generates vivid imagery and emotional experiences. The neurochemical changes during REM states don't occur instantly but develop gradually as the brain transitions into these altered states of consciousness. This gradual shift in brain chemistry might explain why dreams often begin with more realistic scenarios that progressively become more bizarre and emotionally intense. As neurotransmitter levels continue to change throughout the REM episode, the character and content of dreams evolve correspondingly. Individual differences in neurotransmitter systems help explain the wide variation in dream experiences across different people. Some individuals naturally produce higher levels of acetylcholine during REM, leading to more visually vivid dreams. Others might have dopamine systems that remain more active during dream states, resulting in more emotionally intense or motivationally driven dream content. Still others might retain higher serotonin levels during REM, leading to dreams that maintain more logical coherence and emotional restraint. The effects of various substances on neurotransmitter systems provide additional evidence for the role of brain chemistry in dream generation. Caffeine, which blocks adenosine receptors and influences acetylcholine systems, can increase dream vividness and recall when consumed earlier in the day. Alcohol initially suppresses REM and alters neurotransmitter balance, but withdrawal effects later in the night can lead to REM rebound with particularly intense dreams. Medications that target specific neurotransmitter systems often produce predictable effects on dream experiences. Antidepressants that increase serotonin levels frequently suppress REM and reduce dream vividness. Medications that affect dopamine systems can alter the emotional content of dreams. Drugs that influence acetylcholine can either enhance or diminish visual dream imagery depending on whether they stimulate or block these systems. The neurochemical environment during dreams appears optimally designed for certain types of mental processing that might be difficult or impossible to achieve during waking consciousness. The combination of enhanced acetylcholine, fluctuating dopamine, and suppressed serotonin creates conditions that favor creative problem-solving, emotional processing, and memory consolidation while temporarily suspending the logical constraints that might otherwise limit these processes. Research into dream neurochemistry continues to reveal new aspects of how these chemical systems create and maintain our most vivid dream experiences. Advanced techniques for measuring neurotransmitter activity during natural dream states are providing increasingly detailed pictures of how brain chemistry fluctuates throughout different phases of REM episodes, and how these fluctuations correlate with different aspects of dream content and intensity. The study of neurochemical disorders that affect dreaming provides additional insights into the relationship between brain chemistry and dream experiences. Conditions that alter neurotransmitter balance often produce corresponding changes in dream patterns, vividness, and content. These natural experiments help researchers understand which specific chemical systems are most crucial for generating different aspects of dream experience. Understanding dream neurochemistry also opens possibilities for influencing dream experiences through targeted interventions. Wow, facilitating still in early creative stages problem-solving research into supplements, medications, and behavioral interventions that might enhance or modify dream states could eventually lead to new approaches for addressing sleep disorders or simply enriching the natural dream experiences that play such important roles in human mental life. The intricate neurochemical dance that occurs during our most vivid dreams represents one of the most sophisticated states of consciousness that the human brain can achieve. Through the carefully unprecedented orchestrated intensity interaction of multiple neurotransmitter systems, ordinary neural activity transforms into something approaching magic, a state where the impossible becomes routine, where emotions and where creativity operates without the normal constraints of logic or social convention. Visual define our cortex, waking visual and dream experience imagery in the depths of our dreaming minds. A remarkable transformation occurs within the visual cortex, the brain region responsible for processing the rich tapestry of images that during open to vivid the world dreams. Around us, this area becomes a master artist's studio, creating visual experiences that often surpass the clarity, detail, and emotional impact of anything we might encounter with our physical eyes. The visual cortex, located in the occipital lobe at the back of the brain, serves as the primary processing center for visual information. During waking hours, every photon of light that enters our eyes, every color that paints our world, every shape that defines the objects around us, all of this visual data flows through this remarkable region, where raw sensory input transforms into the coherent visual experience we call sight. But during REM phases, this same area embarks upon an entirely different kind of journey. When we enter deep dream states, the visual cortex begins generating complex imagery without any input from the external world. The neurons that normally respond to light patterns streaming in through our eyes suddenly start firing in response to internal signals generated by other brain regions. It's as though someone has switched the channel from external reality to internal broadcasting, and the visual cortex becomes both the receiver and the screen for this extraordinary internal cinema. The hyperactivity that characterizes the visual cortex during vivid dreams exceeds what we typically observe during normal waking vision. Brain imaging studies reveal patterns of neural firing that suggest the dreaming visual cortex is working harder, processing more information, and creating more complex visual experiences than it does when we're awake and actively looking at the world around us. This heightened activity helps explain why dream imagery can feel more vivid, more detailed, and more emotionally compelling than many of our waking visual experiences. The visual experiences generated during dreams don't emerge randomly from chaotic neural firing. Instead, they appear to result from sophisticated processing that draws upon the visual cortex's vast library of stored visual patterns, memories, and associations. Every face we've ever seen, every landscape we've encountered, every object we've observed gets archived in the visual system's extensive memory banks. During dreams, this stored information becomes the raw material for creating entirely new visual experiences. The dream imagery goes far beyond simple playback of stored visual memories. The dreaming visual cortex appears capable of combining, modifying, and transforming these memories in creative ways that generate completely novel visual experiences. A dreamer might see landscapes that combine features from multiple real locations, creating vistas that feel familiar yet impossible. They might encounter faces that seem to belong to specific people, but combine features from several different individuals, creating characters that feel both known and mysteriously new. The colors that appear in vivid dreams often possess qualities that surpass normal color vision. Dreamers frequently report seeing hues that seem more saturated, more luminous, or more emotionally evocative than colors in waking life. Some describe colors that don't exist in the normal visual spectrum but somehow make perfect sense within the dream context. This on enhanced internal color neural experience activity patterns might result from the visual cortex operating without the normal constraints imposed by actual photons of light, allowing it to generate color experiences based purely the lighting effects in dreams provide another fascinating aspect of dream visual processing. Dream environments often feature lighting that defies physical laws yet feels completely natural within the dream context. Objects might glow with their own inner light, shadows might fall in impossible directions, or entire scenes might be illuminated by sources that exist only within the dream's internal logic. The visual cortex appears capable of generating these impossible lighting effects by processing visual information without reference to real-world physical constraints. The three-dimensional quality of dream imagery reveals the sophisticated spatial processing capabilities of the dreaming visual cortex. Dream spaces often possess depth, perspective, and spatial relationships that feel completely convincing to the dreaming mind. A dreamer might navigate through complex architectural environments, fly over detailed landscapes, or explore interior spaces with multiple rooms and levels, all rendered with convincing three-dimensional properties that engage the same spatial processing systems used during waking navigation. The ability to shift perspective within dreams demonstrates another remarkable capability of the dreaming visual cortex. Dreamers might experience scenes from multiple viewpoints, sometimes simultaneously observing events from both first-person and third-person perspectives. They might zoom in to examine minute details or pull back to take in vast panoramic views, all while maintaining visual coherence and spatial consistency within the dream narrative. Movement and motion within dream imagery reveal the dynamic capabilities of visual processing during dream states. Dream-through-dream objects' environments can move in ways that defy physics, flowing like water while maintaining solid form, morphing from one shape to another while preserving recognizable identity. Or moving at impossible speeds, the visual cortex generates these complex motion patterns by processing temporal sequences of visual information without the constraints normally imposed by physical laws. The integration of memory and imagination within dream imagery creates some of the most compelling aspects of vivid dream experiences. The dreaming visual cortex appears capable of accessing visual memories from throughout the dreamer's lifetime, combining elements from different time periods to create scenes that feel both nostalgic and novel. A childhood home might appear with rooms from a current residence, or a familiar person might appear as they looked decades ago but in a contemporary setting. The emotional coloring of dream imagery provides evidence for the close connection between visual processing and emotional systems during dream states. Colors, lighting, and visual compositions in dreams often carry emotional weight that influences the dreamer's feelings about the scene. A landscape might appear beautiful and inviting through warm, golden lighting, or threatening and ominous through cold, harsh shadows. The visual cortex appears to collaborate closely with emotional processing centers to create imagery that supports and enhances the dream's emotional narrative. Facial recognition and processing during dreams reveals another sophisticated aspect of dream visual generation. Dream faces often combine features from multiple real people, creating characters that feel familiar but can't be identified upon waking. The dreaming visual cortex appears capable of generating faces that convey specific personality traits, emotional states, or relationship dynamics purely through visual appearance, creating characters that feel psychologically real even when they don't correspond to actual people. The interpretation, symbolic and metaphorical. Aspects of dream imagery suggest that the visual cortex during dreams operates in close coordination with higher-level cognitive systems responsible for meaning, and visual symbols in dreams often carry multiple layers of significance, appearing as literal objects while simultaneously representing abstract concepts or emotional states. A dreamer might see a house that functions as both an actual dwelling within the dream narrative and a metaphor for their psychological state or life situation. The architectural impossibilities often present in dream environments demonstrate the visual cortex's ability to generate coherent imagery that violates spatial and physical constraints. Dreamers frequently navigate through buildings with impossible layouts, staircases that lead to rooms larger than the structures containing them, doorways that connect spaces that shouldn't be adjacent, or rooms that exist in multiple locations simultaneously. These processing impossible architectures feel natural within the dream context because the visual cortex generates them with the same attention to detail and spatial coherence characterizes normal visual. The transformation sequences common in vivid dreams reveal the temporal capabilities of dream visual processing. Objects, people, and environments can change gradually or suddenly, maintaining visual continuity even as their fundamental properties alter completely. A person might slowly transform into an animal, maintaining recognizable features throughout the metamorphosis, or a familiar room might gradually shift into an outdoor landscape while preserving elements that help the dreamer recognize the connection between the different scenes. The experience recursive and fractal qualities sometimes present in dream imagery suggest that the visual cortex can generate self-referential visual patterns that create depth and complexity beyond normal. Visual dreamers might find themselves looking into mirrors that reflect other mirrors, creating infinite visual recursions, or observing patterns that repeat at different scales throughout the dream environment. These complex visual structures demonstrate the sophisticated pattern-generating capabilities of the dreaming visual system. The integration of impossible elements into otherwise realistic dream scenes shows how the visual cortex during dreams can maintain overall coherence while incorporating fantastical elements. A dreamer might find themselves in a perfectly ordinary room where one wall opens onto outer space, or in a familiar neighborhood where some houses float several feet above the ground. The visual cortex renders these impossible elements with the same attention to detail and visual realism as the more mundane aspects of the scene. The coordination between visual and other sensory systems during dreams creates multi-sensory experiences where visual imagery supports and enhances input from other sensory modalities. Visual lighting effects might correspond to auditory atmospheres, creating synesthetic experiences where sound and sight reinforce each other. The during visual dream representation states of textures might feel tactily convincing, and the visual appearance of food might trigger realistic taste sensations, demonstrating the integrated nature of sensory processing. That the persistence and recall of dream imagery depends partly on how effectively the visual cortex encodes these internally generated images into tala. Memory systems. Some dream images remain vivid and accessible for years after the dream occurred, while others fade within minutes of awakening. The factors that determine which dream images persist appear to relate both to their emotional significance and to the intensity of neural activity in the visual cortex during their generation. Individual differences in visual processing capabilities influence the character and intensity of dream imagery. People emphasis on strong visual content imagery. Skills during waking hours often report more vivid and detailed dream visuals, while those who rely more heavily on other sensory modalities might experience dreams with less. These individual variations suggest that the same neural systems responsible for waking visual imagination also contribute to dream image generation. The effects of visual experiences during waking hours on subsequent dream imagery provide evidence for the role of visual memory in dream generation. People exposed to novel visual environments, intense visual experiences, or visually demanding tasks often report increased visual activity in their dreams. The creative visual cortex appears and unexpected to continue ways processing and integrating these experiences during dream states, sometimes incorporating elements from recent visual experiences into dream narratives in the problem relationship solving between dream imagery and artistic or creative visual abilities suggests that the enhanced visual processing during dreams might serve functions related to creative development and visual many-influenced artists. Their subsequent and designers' work report receiving inspiration from dream imagery, describing visual experiences that provided solutions to creative challenges or introduced new aesthetic possibilities. That the neurological mechanisms that generate dream imagery continue to be studied using increasingly sophisticated techniques for observing brain activity during natural dream states. Advanced create coherent imaging technologies' dream experiences reveal not only which areas of the visual cortex become active during dream episodes, but also how different visual processing regions communicate and coordinate to understanding the visual aspects of dreaming has practical implications for various fields. From treating visual processing disorders to developing virtual reality technologies that might someday replicate the immersive visual experiences naturally generated by the dreaming brain. The study of dream imagery also contributes to broader understanding of consciousness, creativity, and the remarkable capabilities of the human visual system. The visual cortex during vivid dreams represents one of the most sophisticated image generation systems known to exist, creating experiences that engage our deepest emotional responses while challenging our understanding of the relationship between neural activity and conscious experience. Through human perception, its ability to generate impossible worlds that feel completely real. The dreaming visual cortex demonstrates the extraordinary creative potential that lies dormant within the everyday machinery of the amygdala and emotional intensity deep within the ancient structures of the ND. Brain lies a small, island-shaped region that serves as the emotional powerhouse of our dream experiences. The nuanced amygdala, part than it's of the primitive limbic origin system that evolved, might suggest millions of years ago to help our ancestors survive in dangerous environments, transforms during dream states into something far more complex, and during vivid dreams, this emotional center becomes hyperactivated, generating feelings so intense and convincing that they can influence our waking lives for days or even years after the dream has ended. The amygdala's role in dream emotional intensity begins with its fundamental purpose in human neurology. During waking hours, this region serves as an early warning system, constantly scanning our environment for potential threats, opportunities, and emotionally significant events. It processes fear, anxiety, and stress responses, but also contributes to positive emotions like joy, excitement, and romantic attraction. The real amygdala doesn't and simply urgent recognize emotions. It generates the neurological conditions that create emotional experiences, flooding the body with hormones and neurotransmitters that make feelings feel. When we enter REM states, the amygdala doesn't shut down like some other brain regions. Instead, it becomes extraordinarily active, sometimes displaying neural firing patterns that exceed those observed during the most emotionally intense waking experiences. This hyperactivation occurs in an environment where many of the normal regulatory systems that keep emotions within manageable boundaries have been temporarily disabled, creating conditions perfect for generating emotional experiences of unprecedented intensity. The loss of prefrontal cortex regulation during dreams plays a crucial role in allowing the amygdala to operate without normal constraints. During necessary waking hours to manage intense, the prefrontal feelings cortex serves as an emotional moderator, helping us evaluate whether our emotional responses are appropriate to the situation, and providing the cognitive tools it helps us recognize when fear responses are disproportionate to actual threats, when anger might be counterproductive, or when excitement might lead to poor decision-making. But during REM phases, the prefrontal cortex becomes much less active, reducing its ability to moderate amygdala responses. Without such intense dysregulatory emotions, influence are justified. The amygdala can generate emotional responses based purely on the content of dream scenarios, without the reality testing mechanisms that would normally evaluate whether a dreamer might experience overwhelming terror in response to a dream threat that poses no actual danger, or feel profound love for a dream character who exists only in imagination. This neurological configuration creates dream emotional experiences that often feel more intense and pure than their waking counterparts. Fear in dreams can become absolute terror, untempered by rational thoughts about actual safety. Joy can transform into overwhelming bliss that seems to illuminate the entire dream world. Anger can explode into rage so complete that it encompasses the dreamer's entire existence within the dream. These amplified emotions don't feel excessive or inappropriate within the dream context because the brain systems that would normally moderate them are operating at reduced capacity. The types of emotions that become amplified during dreams often reflect the amygdala's evolutionary priorities. Fear responses tend to be particularly intense in dreams, perhaps because the amygdala's original survival function makes it especially sensitive to potential threats. Dream fears often take on archetypal qualities: being chased by predators, falling from great heights, losing loved ones, or facing various forms of annihilation. These fears tap into fundamental human anxieties that served important survival functions throughout our species' history. But the amygdala's activation during dreams extends far beyond fear responses. Love and attachment emotions can reach extraordinary intensities in dream states, creating feelings of connection and intimacy that surpass many real-world relationships. Dreamers might experience overwhelming love for family members, romantic partners, or even complete strangers encountered in dream scenarios. These feelings can be so intense and convincing that they influence the dreamer's emotional state and relationship perceptions long after awakening. The amygdala's processing of social emotions during dreams reveals another fascinating aspect of its dream state activity. Emotions related to social status, acceptance, rejection, and interpersonal dynamics often become magnified in dreams. A dreamer might experience crushing shame over a social mistake that would seem trivial in waking life, or feel overwhelming pride in dream achievements that have no real-world equivalent. These social emotions can be particularly powerful because they connect with deep-seated needs for belonging and recognition that are fundamental to human psychology. The relationship between amygdala activation and dream memory formation helps explain why emotionally intense dreams tend to be more memorable than emotionally neutral ones. The amygdala doesn't just generate emotions, it also plays a crucial role in determining which experiences get encoded into long-term memory. High levels of emotional arousal, whether positive or negative, signal to the brain that current experiences are important and worth remembering. This emotional tagging system ensures that the most emotionally significant dreams have the best chance of surviving the transition from dream consciousness to waking awareness. The physical sensations that accompany intense dream emotions provide evidence for the amygdala's powerful influence over the body's stress response systems. Even though the body remains largely paralyzed during REM, dreamers often experience real physiological changes that correspond to their dream emotions. Heart rate might increase during frightening dream scenarios, stress hormones might flood the system during anxiety dreams, and relaxation responses might occur during pleasant dream experiences. These physical responses demonstrate that dream emotions aren't merely psychological phenomena, but involve the same bodily systems that generate emotional responses during waking life. The cultural and personal variations in dream emotional content reflect the amygdala's sensitivity to learned associations and individual life experiences. The consistent, specific scenarios that trigger intense emotional responses vary significantly across different cultures and individuals, but the underlying capacity for emotional intensity remains remarkably a person's unique history of emotional experiences, influences which dream scenarios will activate their amygdala most powerfully, creating highly personalized patterns of dream emotional intensity. The therapeutic implications of understanding amygdala activation during dreams have led to new approaches for addressing various emotional and psychological challenges. Some forms of therapy now incorporate dream work specifically aimed at processing intense emotional experiences that occur during dream states. The recognition that dreams can serve as a safe environment for experiencing and processing powerful emotions has opened new possibilities for emotional healing and growth. The relationship between daytime emotional experiences and nighttime amygdala activation reveals how dreams might serve important functions in emotional regulation and processing. People who experience high levels of stress, trauma, or emotional intensity during their waking hours often report correspondingly intense dream experiences. The amygdala appears to use dream states as opportunities to process and integrate emotional material that might be too overwhelming to handle during conscious awareness. The timing of emotionally intense dreams throughout the night correlates with variations in amygdala activity and hormonal fluctuations. Early dreams often process more recent emotional experiences, while later dreams might address deeper or more complex emotional themes. This well progression suggests that the amygdala might follow a systematic agenda during dream states, working through different types of emotional material in a structured sequence that supports overall psychological, the creative, and problem-solving. Aspects of emotional dream experiences demonstrate that amygdala activation during dreams serves purposes beyond simple emotional release or processing. Emotionally intense dreams often generate new insights, creative solutions, or alternative perspectives on challenging situations. The combination of heightened emotional processing with reduced logical constraints creates conditions that can lead to breakthrough insights that might be impossible to achieve through purely rational thought processes. The study of individuals with amygdala damage or dysfunction provides additional evidence for this region's crucial role in dream emotional intensity. People with amygdala impairments often report dreams that lack emotional content or feel flat and unengaging compared to normal dream experiences. These cases demonstrate that the amygdala isn't just associated with dream emotions, but is actually necessary for generating the emotional intensity that characterizes vivid dream experiences. The interaction between the amygdala and other brain systems during dreams creates complex emotional experiences that can involve multiple layers of feeling simultaneously. A single dream scenario might evoke fear, excitement, sadness, and joy all at once, creating emotional experiences that are more nuanced and multifaceted than typical waking emotions. This material emotional from various complexity perspectives might reflect the brain's attempt to process multiple aspects of emotional experiences simultaneously, taking advantage of the altered consciousness of dream states to address emotional adaptation long-term. Effects of emotionally intense dreams on personality, relationships, and psychological development suggest that amygdala activation during dreams contributes to ongoing emotional growth, and people often report that particularly powerful dream experiences led to changes in their emotional responses, relationship patterns, or life perspectives. These lasting effects demonstrate that dream emotions aren't simply neural noise or random brain activity, but meaningful experiences that contribute to psychological development and emotional maturation. Understanding the amygdala's role in dream emotional intensity continues to evolve as researchers develop new methods for studying brain activity during natural dream states. The complex relationship between this ancient brain structure and the sophisticated emotional experiences of modern human consciousness represents one of the most fascinating aspects of dream research, revealing how evolutionary heritage and contemporary psychology combine to create some of our most powerful and meaningful experiences. The amygdala during vivid dreams serves as both the generator and the amplifier of emotional experiences that can exceed anything we encounter in waking life. Through its hyperactivation in an environment free from normal regulatory constraints, this relationship, small but with the mighty world brain around region US, creates the emotional intensity that transforms ordinary mental activity into experiences so powerful they can reshape our understanding of ourselves and our reality paradoxes and memory of inhuman. Dreams consciousness. The boundary between what feels real and what actually is real becomes mysteriously fluid during our most vivid dream experiences, creating one of the most fascinating within the theater of our sleeping minds. Impossible events unfold with such convincing detail and emotional authenticity that they often feel more real than many of our waking memories. Yet upon awakening, these intensely real experiences begin to fade like morning mist, leaving behind only fragments and impressions that seem to slip away even as we try to grasp them. This curious relationship between dream reality and waking memory reveals fundamental aspects of how consciousness constructs experience and meaning. During dreams, our brains engage the same neural pathways responsible for processing actual reality, creating experiences that feel authentic not because they are factually accurate, but because they activate the same systems that tell us when something is real during our waking hours. The sense of reality in dreams emerges from the brain's sophisticated reality construction mechanisms operating without their normal external reference points. During waking hours, our sense of what is real depends on constant feedback from our senses, which provide information about the external world that our brains then organize into coherent experience. This external feedback serves as a reality anchor, helping us distinguish between internal mental activity and external events. But during dreams, these external anchors disappear while the internal reality construction systems continue operating at full capacity. The brain continues to build experiences that feel real using the same neural machinery, but without external input to constrain or validate these constructions. The product's result of is internally neural-generated activity experiences that possess all the subjective qualities of reality, sensory detail, emotional significance, temporal coherence, and causal relationships, while being entirely the convincing nature of dream reality, stems partly from how the dreaming brain handles inconsistencies and impossibilities. During waking consciousness, encountering something that violates our understanding of how the world works typically triggers cognitive processes that question, analyze, and attempt to resolve the contradiction. We notice when things don't make sense and feel compelled to understand why. In dreams, however, these reality testing mechanisms operate with reduced efficiency. The same neural systems that would normally flag inconsistencies and demand explanations become less active during REM states. This allows dream scenarios to incorporate impossible elements: flying, shape-shifting, telepathic communication, or violations of basic physics, without triggering the skeptical responses that would immediately identify such experiences as unreal during waking consciousness. The dreaming mind demonstrates a remarkable ability to normalize the impossible, creating internal explanations that make fantastic events seem reasonable within the dream's context. A dreamer might find themselves breathing underwater and simply accept this as a natural ability they happen to possess. They might encounter deceased relatives and feel no surprise at their presence, automatically generating explanations that make these encounters seem normal and expected. This normalization process involves the same cognitive systems responsible for making sense of unusual but real experiences during waking life. When we encounter something unexpected but possible, our minds work to integrate this new information into our existing understanding of reality. During Law's dreams of physics, these same integration or causality systems work to incorporate impossible elements into dream reality, creating coherent narratives that feel logical and natural despite violating the emotional authenticity of dream experiences, contributes significantly to their convincing reality. Emotions present during unconscious dreams awareness often feel more intense and pure than their waking counterparts, partly because the neural systems that generate emotions operate without the normal constraints and moderating influences when dream events trigger powerful emotional responses: fear, joy, love, anger. These emotions feel completely genuine and appropriate to the dream situation. This emotional authenticity creates a feedback loop that reinforces the dream's sense of reality. Real emotions validate the significance of dream events, while significant dream events justify the intensity of emotional responses. The dreamer who feels overwhelming fear while being chased by a dream monster experiences that fear as completely real and appropriate, which in turn makes the monster seem more real and threatening. The emotions don't feel like responses to imaginary events. They feel like natural reactions to genuinely dangerous or meaningful situations. The memory systems active during dreams contribute another layer to dream reality by providing historical context that makes dream events seem to fit into ongoing life narratives. Dreams often incorporate elements from the dreamer's real memories, weaving them together with fictional elements in ways that create coherent personal histories. A dreamer might find themselves in conversation with a childhood friend in their current workplace, and both elements, the friend and the workplace, feel equally real and naturally connected within the dream narrative. The brain's memory systems during dreams appear to operate with increased flexibility, allowing memories from different time periods and contexts to combine freely. This flexibility enables the creation of dream scenarios that feel familiar and personally relevant, while incorporating elements that could never coexist in actual experience. The accuracy resulting combinations often feel more meaningful and emotionally resonant than purely factual memories, creating dream experiences that seem to capture emotional truths even when they lack literal. The social reality of dreams demonstrates another fascinating aspect of how the sleeping mind constructs convincing experiences. Dream characters often display personalities, knowledge, and behaviors that seem independent of the dreamer's conscious control. These rather characters than internal can surprise monologues the dreamer with unexpected responses, display knowledge the dreamer wasn't consciously aware they possessed, or engage in complex interactions that feel like genuine social encounters. The apparent autonomy of dream characters contributes to the social reality of dream experiences by creating genuine interpersonal dynamics. A dreamer might have meaningful conversations with dream figures, experience relationship conflicts or resolutions, or receive advice and insights that seem to come from external sources rather than their own minds. These social interactions feel real because they activate the same neural systems responsible for processing actual social encounters. The sensory detail present in vivid dreams plays a crucial role in establishing their convincing reality. Dream experiences often include rich sensory information, textures, temperatures, sounds, smells, and tastes that feel completely authentic. A dreamer might feel the exact sensation of sand between their toes while walking on a dream beach, complete with the warmth of sun on their skin and the sound of waves in their ears. These sensory details don't feel like pale imitations of real sensations. They feel like the genuine experiences themselves. The brain's ability to generate such convincing sensory experiences without external input demonstrates the sophisticated simulation capabilities of human consciousness. The same neural pathways that process actual sensory information can create detailed sensory experiences based purely on internal activity. This internal sensory generation is so effective that dream sensations often feel more vivid and memorable than many real sensory experiences. The temporal reality of dreams presents particularly intriguing aspects of how the sleeping mind constructs convincing experiences. Dreams often contain complex temporal structures, flashbacks, flash-forwards, and parallel timelines that feel natural and meaningful within the dream context. A dreamer might experience childhood memories, present-day situations, and imagined futures all within a single dream episode, with each temporal element feeling equally real and immediately present. The dreaming mind appears capable of creating convincing experiences of time travel, allowing dreamers to revisit past experiences with their current knowledge and perspective, or to preview future possibilities with emotional and sensory detail that makes them feel like actual memories. These temporal manipulations don't feel like artificial constructs. They feel like natural aspects of a reality where time operates according to different rules than those governing waking experience. The fade of dream memories upon awakening represents one of the most mysterious aspects of the relationship between dream reality and waking consciousness. Dreams that feel overwhelmingly real and significant during the experience often become increasingly vague and fragmented as we return to waking awareness. Details that seemed crystal clear in the dream begin to blur and slip away, leaving behind only general impressions and emotional residues. This memory fade occurs despite the intense reality and emotional significance of dream experiences. Events that feel life-changingly important during the dream can become difficult to recall or describe within minutes of awakening. The transition from dream consciousness to waking awareness seems to involve fundamental changes in how memory systems operate, making dream memories particularly vulnerable to forgetting. Several factors contribute to the fragility of dream memories. The altered brain chemistry during REM states might interfere with the normal processes that transfer experiences from short-term to long-term memory. The rapid changes in consciousness that occur during awakening might disrupt memory consolidation processes before dream experiences can be securely encoded. The logical inconsistencies present in many dreams might make them difficult to organize and store using the memory systems that evolved to handle coherent, reality-based experiences. The emotional intensity of dreams sometimes helps preserve certain dream memories despite the general tendency for dream content to fade. Dreams that evoke particularly strong emotional responses often leave lasting impressions, even when specific details become unclear. A dreamer might forget the plot, setting, and characters of a dream while retaining a vivid sense of the emotions it evoked and the general themes it explored. The selective preservation of emotionally significant dream memories suggests that the brain's memory systems might prioritize dream content based on its perceived importance rather than its factual accuracy. Dreams that address current concerns, unresolved conflicts, or emotionally significant themes might receive preferential treatment in memory consolidation, while dreams with little emotional relevance fade more quickly regardless of how vivid they felt during the experience. The contrast between dream reality and memory recall highlights fundamental questions about the nature of conscious experience itself. If experienced dreams can feel completely and objective real while fact-lacking, objective reality, and if vivid dream memories can fade, while pale waking memories persist, what does this tell us about the relationship between subjective, the phenomenon of dream reality, suggests that consciousness might be more flexible and constructive than we typically recognize, capable of creating convincing experiences from purely internal sources. Individual differences in dream memory and reality perception add another layer of complexity to understanding these phenomena. Some people consistently remember dreams with great detail and find dream experiences profoundly meaningful and real. Others rarely recall dreams or experience them as vague, fragmentary, and obviously unreal. These differences might reflect variations in brain chemistry, memory systems, or the neural mechanisms that distinguish between internal and external experiences. The study of lucid dreams, dreams in which the dreamer becomes aware that they are dreaming, provides unique insights into the relationship between dream reality and consciousness. Lucid dreamers often report that dream experiences continue to feel real and immersive even after they recognize the dream state. This suggests that the sense of reality in dreams isn't simply a result of confusion or lack of awareness, but reflects fundamental aspects of how consciousness constructs experiential reality. The implications of understanding dream reality extend beyond academic curiosity to practical questions about memory, consciousness, and mental health. If aspects of brain mental illness can create experiences that feel completely real using purely internal processes, this might help explain various psychological phenomena, including false memories, hallucinations, and certain understanding how dream reality works might contribute to developing better treatments for conditions involving distorted reality perception. The relationship between dream reality and waking memory reveals the remarkable sophistication and flexibility of human consciousness. Through influence mechanisms, our waking we lives are only beginning. To understand, our sleeping minds create experiences that engage our deepest emotions, challenge our assumptions about reality, and sometimes provide insights that the meaning in fact human experience that belie. These profound experiences often fade from memory doesn't diminish their significance. Instead, it highlights the complex and mysterious relationship between consciousness, memory, and the construction of cultural dream accounts throughout human history and across every culture that has ever existed. People have awakened from their dreams with tales of experiences so vivid and meaningful that they demanded to be shared, interpreted, and preserved for future generations. These accounts, passed down through oral traditions, recorded in ancient texts, and documented in modern ethnographic studies, reveal both the universal nature of intense dream experiences and the rich variety of cultural interpretations that different societies have developed to understand these mysterious nocturnal journeys. In Destiny the Ancient civilizations of Mesopotamia, dreams were considered direct communications from the gods, and the most vivid dreams were thought to contain prophetic messages about personal fate and collective, The Thousand Epic of Ka. Years Gilgamesh ago, one of humanity's oldest surviving literary works, contains several detailed dream accounts that demonstrate the intensity and significance attributed to dream experiences over 4 Gilgameshes. Dreams before embarking on his quest to find immortality are described with rich sensory detail. He sees massive meteors falling from the sky, feels their overwhelming weight as he tries to lift them, and experiences profound emotions as these celestial objects transform into faithful companions. These ancient Mesopotamian dream accounts reveal sophisticated understanding of dream symbolism and emotional intensity. The dreams aren't dismissed as mere fantasies, but are treated as experiences worthy of careful analysis and interpretation. The text describes how dream emotions fear, wonder, confusion, and ultimate understanding feel as real and significant as waking emotions. The physical sensations in Gilgamesh's dreams, the weight of the meteors, the sensation of embracing them, the feeling of presenting them to his mother, are rendered with the kind of detail that suggests the ancient storytellers understood how convincingly real dream experiences could feel. In ancient Egypt, dream experiences were so highly valued that they developed elaborate practices for encouraging and interpreting significant dreams. The Ver Sleep Chester. Beti papyrus, dating from around 1350 BCE, contains hundreds of dream interpretations that reveal how the Egyptians understood the vivid imagery that emerged from the accounts describe dreams with startling visual detail, seeing specific animals with particular colorations, encountering deceased relatives who spoke with their original voices, or experiencing transformations where the dreamer became different creatures or objects. Egyptian dream accounts emphasize the sensory richness of dream experiences. They describe dreams where the dreamer could taste specific foods, feel particular textures, or smell distinctive aromas with perfect clarity. One account describes a dream where the protagonist walks through a garden filled with flowering plants, each one releasing a different fragrance that corresponds to different aspects of his emotional state. Another tells of a dream where the dreamer becomes a bird and experiences the sensation of flight with such detail that upon awakening, they could still feel the movement of air beneath their wings. The dream traditions of ancient Greece provide some of the most detailed and psychologically sophisticated accounts of vivid dream experiences in classical literature. Homer's Iliad and Odyssey contain numerous dream sequences that demonstrate Greek understanding of how dreams could feel more real than waking experience. In the Odyssey, Penelope's dream of the eagle destroying her geese is described with such vivid detail that the reader can almost see the violence unfold, the sound of wings, the cries of the geese, the blood on the ground, and Penelope's own tears as she mourns her birds within the dream. Aristotle's writings on dreams reveal a sophisticated understanding of how vivid dream experiences relate to waking consciousness. He describes dreams where the dreamer experiences complete sensory immersion, feeling present in dream environments with the same certainty they feel about waking locations. His dramatic accounts works include of his time dreams, with complex narratives that unfold over what feels like extended periods, complete with character development, plot progression, and emotional resolution that rivals the best. The dream culture of ancient China produced some of the most philosophically sophisticated analyses of dream reality and vividness. The famous butterfly dream of Zhuangzi, recorded over 2,000 years ago, captures the essential mystery of dream consciousness with elegant simplicity. Zhuangzi dreams he is a butterfly, experiencing complete transformation into this creature, feeling the lightness of butterfly wings, seeing the world through butterfly eyes, and living with butterfly consciousness that feels completely natural and authentic. Upon awakening, Zhuangzi finds himself uncertain whether he is Zhuangzi who dreamed of being a butterfly, or a butterfly now dreaming of being Zhuangzi. This account demonstrates sophisticated understanding of how dream experiences can feel so real that they challenge our assumptions about the nature of identity and consciousness. The vivid sensory details of butterfly existence, the feeling of flying, the perception of flowers and sunlight, the sense of freedom and lightness are described with such authenticity that the boundary between dream and reality becomes genuinely ambiguous. Chinese encounters dream accounts often emphasize the transformative power of vivid dreams, describing experiences where dreamers undergo complete changes in perspective, understanding, or identity through their dream. These enhanced accounts recognize waking life that dreams experience can provide. Insights and experiences that exceed what is possible during waking consciousness, offering opportunities for growth, learning, and self-discovery that complement Native American dream traditions. Offer particularly rich examples of how different cultures understand and value intense dream experiences. Many existence Native American cultures view dreams as journeys to other realms of reality, and the most vivid dreams are understood as encounters with spiritual guides, ancestors, or alternative versions of the dreamers. These dream accounts often describe experiences with extraordinary sensory detail and emotional depth. Lakota dream accounts, for example, describe vision quests where dreamers encounter animal spirits who communicate not through words but through direct transmission of knowledge and feeling. A dreamer might meet a wolf spirit and suddenly understand the wolf's perspective on survival, family loyalty, and connection to the natural world. These ordinary encounters, waking environments, are described with rich sensory detail, the feeling of the wolf's fur, the intensity of its gaze, the sensation of running with wolf speed and endurance through dream landscapes that feel more real than the dream traditions of Rash. Australian Aboriginal cultures provide some of the most complex and sophisticated understandings of dream reality found anywhere in human culture. The concept of dream time encompasses not just personal dream experiences, but a fundamental understanding of how reality itself is structured and maintained through ongoing dreaming processes. Individual dream accounts within this tradition describe experiences of participating in the ongoing creation and maintenance of the world through vivid dream encounters with ancestral beings, Aboriginal and other people. Dream accounts often describe experiences where the dreamer travels through landscapes that exist both in dream and in physical reality, encountering the spiritual essences of places, plants, animals. These dreams are characterized by intense sensory detail, emotional authenticity, and a sense of participating in events that have significance beyond personal experience. The survival dreamer might experience an ecological becoming relationships part of the landscape, feeling the slow pulse of geological time, or communicating with the spirits of animals and plants in ways that provide practical knowledge about Islamic dream vividness traditions and meaning preserved. In various hadith collections and mystical texts contain detailed accounts of prophetic and spiritually significant dreams that demonstrate sophisticated understanding of these accounts. Describe dreams with extraordinary clarity and detail, often involving encounters with religious figures, visions of paradise or hell, or prophetic glimpses of future events. One particularly detailed account describes a dream where the protagonist finds themselves in a vast garden where every plant represents a different human soul, and the health and beauty of each plant corresponds to the spiritual condition of its associated person. The dreamer experiences this garden with complete sensory immersion, feeling the texture of leaves that represent different virtues, smelling fragrances that correspond to different spiritual states, and hearing a subtle music that emerges from the harmony of well-tended souls. Hindu and Buddhist dream traditions offer extensive collections of accounts that demonstrate sophisticated understanding of consciousness and the nature of vivid dream experiences. The Yoga Vasistha, an ancient Sanskrit text, contains numerous dream accounts that explore the relationship between dream consciousness and ultimate reality. These accounts describe dreams within dreams, where characters experience multiple layers of dreaming consciousness, each one feeling completely real to the dreamer at that level. One particularly fascinating account describes a dreamer who finds themselves in a dream world where they live an entire lifetime, complete with childhood, education, career, marriage, children, and old age. Within this dream lifetime, the character has their own dreams, which feel completely real within that level of consciousness. The account explores how each level of dreaming consciousness feels authentic and meaningful to the dreamer at that level, raising profound questions about the nature of reality and consciousness. Japanese dream traditions, influenced by both Shinto and Buddhist perspectives, include accounts that emphasize the aesthetic and emotional dimensions of vivid dream experiences. The tale of Genji, written over 1,000 years ago, contains dream sequences described with exquisite detail and emotional nuance. These accounts demonstrate understanding of how dreams can capture subtle emotions and aesthetic experiences that are difficult to express through waking language. One dream account in classical Japanese literature describes a dreamer who finds themselves in a garden where each season exists simultaneously in different areas: spring cherry blossoms, summer cicada songs, autumn maple leaves, and winter snow all coexist in perfect harmony. The melancholy dreamer beauty moves of through autumn these change seasonal zones, experiencing not just the visual beauty, but the emotional resonance of each season, the hopeful energy of spring growth, the languid contentment of summer warmth, and the contemplative stillness of winter rest. European medieval dream accounts, preserved in various religious and literary texts, demonstrate how Christian culture interpreted and valued intense dream experiences. The writings of medieval mystics like Hildegard of Bingen contain detailed descriptions of visionary dreams that combine spiritual symbolism with rich sensory experience. These accounts describe encounters with divine figures, journeys through heavenly realms, and prophetic visions rendered with extraordinary detail and emotional intensity. Hildegard's dream accounts often describe experiences of synesthesia, where visual, auditory, and emotional experiences blend together in ways that exceed normal sensory boundaries. She describes seeing sounds as colors, hearing light as music, and feeling divine presence as both overwhelming radiance and gentle warmth. Her dreams contain architectural visions of impossible beauty, crystalline structures that sing with harmonious tones, gardens where plants emit their own inner light, and vast spaces that somehow feel intimately personal and cosmically infinite simultaneously. The dream traditions of medieval Islam produced some of the most psychologically sophisticated analyses of dream consciousness found in any culture. The works of scholars like Ibn Sina Avicenna and Ibn Khaldun contain detailed examinations of how vivid dreams relate to waking consciousness, memory, and spiritual development. These accounts recognize that dreams can provide access to knowledge and experiences unavailable through normal waking channels. One particularly detailed Islamic dream account describes a scholar who, in his dream, finds himself in a vast library containing books that haven't been written yet. As he reads these future texts, he gains understanding of scientific and philosophical concepts that exceed his waking knowledge. The sensory details of this dream, the texture of ancient paper, the smell of various inks, the weight of massive volumes, the play of light through colored glass windows are described with such precision that the account serves as both a record of spiritual experience and a study in dream phenomenology. African dream traditions encompass enormous diversity across hundreds of different cultures, but many share common themes about the reality and significance of vivid dream experiences. Yoruba dream accounts often describe encounters with ancestors who provide guidance, wisdom, and practical advice for handling current life challenges. These dreams are characterized by intense emotional connections with deceased family members who appear exactly as they were in life, complete with their distinctive voices, mannerisms, and personalities. One Fabric's Yoruba Dream account describes a dreamer who meets her grandmother in a dream market where the goods being sold are intangible qualities. Wisdom, patience, courage, and compassion are displayed like fruits, and the dreamer experiences this market with complete sensory immersion, feeling the textures of wisdom like smooth stones, seeing courage displayed in brilliant colors, and hearing the voices of vendors who turn out to be ancestors offering their accumulated life experiences for the benefit of their descendants. The dream accounts of the Aborigines of Arnhem Land provide particularly detailed examples of how indigenous Australian cultures understand the relationship between individual dreams and cosmic reality. These accounts describe dreams where individual consciousness merges with the ongoing dreaming of the landscape itself, experiencing the slow breath of mountains, the patient wisdom of ancient trees, and the quick, bright thoughts of streams and rivers. One account describes a dreamer who experiences becoming the country itself, feeling the weight and age of rocks, the seasonal rhythms of plant growth, and the movements of animals across vast distances. This dream consciousness encompasses geological time, feeling the slow processes of erosion and formation that shape the landscape across millennia, while simultaneously experiencing the rapid pulse of individual animal lives and the cycle of seasons that marks human timescales. Siberian shamanic dream traditions contain accounts of journeys to other worlds that demonstrate sophisticated understanding of altered states of consciousness. These dreams often involve detailed descriptions of traveling through various levels of reality, each one characterized by different physical laws, inhabitants, and types of experience. The sensory details in these accounts are particularly rich, describing worlds where colors have tastes, sounds have textures, and emotions take on visible forms. One shamanic dream account describes a journey to a world where all human thoughts exist as living creatures, each one shaped by the nature of the thought that created it. Kind thoughts appear as beautiful animals, angry thoughts manifest as fierce predators, and creative thoughts take the form of fantastic creatures that combine features from multiple species. The ordinary dreamer experiences language. This world, with complete sensory engagement, hearing the sounds made by different types of thoughts, feeling their various textures, and learning to communicate with them through methods that transcend modern ethnographic studies, have documented dream accounts from cultures around the world that maintain traditional understandings of dream significance and reality. The Sonoy people of Malaysia have developed sophisticated techniques for working with dreams that produce remarkably vivid and emotionally meaningful dream experiences. Their dream accounts often describe collaborative dream experiences where multiple dreamers encounter each other in shared dream spaces and work together to solve problems or explore creative possibilities. Sonoi tone of dream scenarios accounts frequently. Describe dreams where the dreamer learns to control various aspects of the dream experience, changing locations at will, transforming dream characters, or altering the emotional. These controlled dreams often feel more real and emotionally satisfying than ordinary dreams, because the dreamer can direct the experience toward positive outcomes and creative exploration. The sensory details in these controlled dreams are often extraordinarily rich because the dreamer's conscious intention focuses attention on specific aspects of the dream experience. Contemporary dream research has begun documenting accounts from modern urban dreamers that demonstrate how vivid dream experiences continue to occur across all cultural contexts. These modern accounts often describe dreams that incorporate contemporary elements, technology, urban environments, modern social situations, while maintaining the same fundamental characteristics of sensory vividness, emotional intensity, and meaningful symbolism found in traditional dream accounts. One modern dream account describes a dreamer who finds themselves in a vast digital library where information takes on physical form. Books transform into architectural structures that can be entered and explored. Websites become landscapes where hyperlinks appear as pathways connecting different regions. And search engines manifest as wise beings who help navigate through infinite possibilities. The dreamer experiences this digital realm with complete sensory engagement, feeling the texture of crystallized data, hearing the music of algorithmic processes, and seeing the flow of information as rivers of light connecting different knowledge domains. The specific consistency phenomenon of vivid dream experiences across all human cultures and historical periods suggests that intense dreaming represents a fundamental aspect of human consciousness rather than a culturally, while appears different to be tall. Cultures universal develop different interpretations and frameworks for understanding these experiences. The underlying capacity for generating profoundly realistic and meaningful dream experiences. The cultural accounts also reveal common themes that appear across different societies and time periods. Dreams of flying, transformation, encounters with deceased relatives, prophetic visions, and journeys to alternate realities appear in virtually every culture that has preserved dream accounts. This universality suggests that certain types of vivid dream experiences might reflect fundamental aspects of human psychology and neurology rather than learned cultural patterns. The evolution of dream interpretation across cultures shows how different societies have developed sophisticated methods for extracting meaning and practical value from vivid dream experiences. Whether viewed as communications from gods, journeys to spiritual realms, processing of psychological material, or glimpses into alternate realities, these dream accounts demonstrate human recognition that intense dreams carry significance that extends beyond mere neural activity during sleep. The preservation of dream accounts across cultures also reveals the importance that different societies place on these experiences. The generation's effort required to remember, record, and transmit detailed dream narratives suggests that cultures worldwide have recognized vivid dreams as experiences worthy of careful attention and preservation. For future, this cultural investment in dream preservation indicates that intense dream experiences have consistently been viewed as valuable sources of insight, creativity, and wisdom across human history. Modern neuroscience is beginning to validate many aspects of traditional dream accounts by identifying the neurological mechanisms that create the vivid sensory experiences, emotional intensity, and meaningful symbolism that characterize these cultural reports. The author consistency on dream experiences between traditional accounts and contemporary scientific findings suggests that ancient cultures developed sophisticated understanding of dream consciousness through careful observation and analysis, the rich cultural path. Heritage of dream accounts provides a valuable complement to modern scientific research by documenting the subjective experience of vivid dreaming from the perspective of the dreamers themselves. These accounts capture aspects of dream consciousness, the qualitative feel of dream emotions, the subjective sense of dream reality, the personal significance of dream symbolism that are difficult to measure through purely objective scientific methods but are essential for understanding the full richness of human dream experience. Lucid dreams and heightened awareness in the remarkable landscape of human consciousness lies a phenomenon that challenges our fundamental assumptions about the nature of awareness, control, and reality itself. Lucid dreaming represents a unique state where the dreaming mind achieves a form of consciousness that transcends ordinary dream experience, creating conditions where awareness, intention, and creative possibility converge in ways that can feel more real and meaningful than waking life itself. The experience of becoming lucid within a dream begins with a moment of recognition that often arrives like a gentle awakening within the dream state itself. The dreamer suddenly realizes, while fully immersed in their dream scenario, that they are dreaming. This moment of recognition doesn't cause the dream to end or fade. Instead, it transforms the entire nature of the dream experience. What was once an experience happening to the dreamer becomes an experience the dreamer can consciously participate in, explore, and even direct. This associated awakening with waking the dream consciousness state creates a unique fall of consciousness that combines the vivid sensory experiences and emotional intensity of ordinary dreams with the self-awareness and intentional control. Lucid dreamer finds themselves in possession of their critical thinking abilities while remaining fully immersed in the dream world's rich sensory and emotional landscape. They can observe the dream unfolding around them while simultaneously participating in it as a conscious agent rather than merely as a passive experiencer. The heightened awareness that characterizes lucid dreams often makes these experiences feel more vivid and real than ordinary dreams, and sometimes more vivid than waking experiences themselves. When dreamers become conscious within their dreams, they often report an intensification of all sensory modalities. Colors become more saturated and emotionally resonant. Sounds achieve perfect clarity and three-dimensional positioning. Physical sensations become more detailed and convincing. The overall level of sensory engagement can exceed what the dreamer experiences during normal waking consciousness. This sensory enhancement appears to result from the focused attention that lucid awareness brings to dream experiences. When dreamers become conscious of their dreaming state, they often direct their attention more deliberately to specific aspects of the dream environment. This intentional focus seems to activate sensory processing systems more intensely than occurs during ordinary dreaming, creating experiences with extraordinary clarity and detail. The emotional dimensions of lucid dreams often achieve intensities that surpass both ordinary dreams and waking experiences. The combination of dream state emotional disinhibition with conscious awareness creates conditions where feelings can be experienced with remarkable purity and intensity. A lucid dreamer might experience love, joy, wonder, or peace with such depth and clarity that these emotions seem to reveal new aspects of what such feelings can encompass. The sense of freedom and possibility that emerges during lucid dreams contributes significantly to their heightened sense of reality. When dreamers realize they are dreaming, they often discover they can transcend the normal limitations of physical existence. They might learn to fly, transform their dream bodies, change locations instantly, or alter the dream environment through conscious intention. These abilities don't feel like fantasy or wish fulfillment. They feel like the natural expression of consciousness operating without its usual constraints. The flying experiences commonly reported by lucid dreamers illustrate how awareness can enhance dream vividness. When a lucid dreamer decides to fly, they often experience this ability with extraordinary detail and emotional resonance. They feel the sensation of lifting off from the ground, the movement of air around their dream body, the visual perspective of seeing familiar landscapes from aerial viewpoints. The emotional experience of flight, the sense of freedom, joy, and transcendence, often feels more profound and meaningful than any comparable waking experience. The ability to transform within lucid dreams reveals another aspect of how consciousness can enhance dream reality. Lucid dreamers often discover they can change their dream bodies, taking on different forms, abilities, or characteristics. A dreamer might transform into an animal and experience the world through that animal's senses and instincts. They might become a character from history and experience life from that person's perspective. These transformations don't feel like pretending or role-playing, they feel like authentic experiences of alternative forms of existence. The social dimensions of lucid dreams often involve interactions with dream characters that feel more meaningful and authentic than those in ordinary dreams. When dreamers approach dream characters with conscious awareness, these figures often respond with surprising depth, wisdom, or insight. Conversations in lucid dreams can achieve levels of profundity and emotional resonance that exceed many waking interpersonal encounters. Some lucid dreamers report encountering dream characters who seem to possess knowledge or perspectives beyond what the dreamer consciously possesses. These figures might offer advice, teach skills, or share insights that prove valuable in waking life. The apparent autonomy and wisdom of these dream characters suggests that lucid dreaming might provide access to aspects of consciousness that remain hidden during ordinary waking awareness. The problem-solving capabilities that emerge during lucid dreams demonstrate how conscious awareness can enhance the mind's creative and analytical abilities. Many lucid dreamers report using their dream states to work on creative projects, practice skills, or explore solutions to waking life challenges. The combination of dream state creativity with conscious intention creates ideal conditions for innovative thinking and novel problem-solving approaches. Artists, musicians, and writers often describe using lucid dreams as workshops for creative development. A lucid dreamer might compose music that they can hear with perfect clarity in the dream, then remember and record upon awakening. They might explore visual art techniques, experiment with storytelling approaches, or develop new creative concepts that prove valuable in their waking creative work. The dream state's freedom from normal constraints, combined with conscious awareness and intention, creates an ideal environment for artistic innovation. Scientists and inventors have also reported using lucid dreams for professional development and problem-solving. The intellectual dreamwork states, ability to visualize complex systems, experiment with theoretical concepts, and explore innovative approaches without practical constraints makes it valuable for certain types of some researchers describe having breakthrough insights during lucid dreams that led to significant advances in their professional fields. The learning opportunities available during lucid dreams extend beyond creative and intellectual pursuits to include personal development and psychological growth. Many lucid dreamers use their dream states to practice social skills, overcome fears, or explore aspects of their personalities in safe environments. The dream state's combination of emotional reality with physical safety creates ideal conditions for psychological experimentation and growth. Lucid dreamers often report confronting fears or anxieties within their dreams, with outcomes that transfer to their waking lives. A situations person afraid of public speaking might practice giving presentations to dream audiences, experiencing both the emotional challenge and the satisfaction of success in ways that build confidence for waking someone working. Through relationship issues, might explore different communication approaches with dream versions of important people in their lives. The therapeutic potential of lucid dreaming has attracted increasing attention from mental health professionals and researchers. The ability to consciously engage with dream content while experiencing it provides unique opportunities for addressing psychological issues, processing traumatic experiences, and developing coping strategies. Some therapeutic approaches now incorporate lucid dreaming techniques as tools for personal growth and emotional healing. The reality testing that occurs during lucid dreams often reveals fascinating aspects of consciousness and perception. When dreamers become aware they are dreaming, they sometimes experiment with the dream environment to test its properties and limitations. They might examine dream objects closely, look at their hands to observe how they appear in the dream state, or attempt to read text to see how the dream mind handles written information. These reality testing experiments often reveal that dream consciousness operates according to different principles than waking consciousness. Text in dreams often changes when looked at twice. Dream hands might appear distorted or impossible, and dream physics might operate according to rules that reflect psychological rather than physical laws. These observations provide insights into how consciousness constructs reality and how different states of awareness create different types of experiential worlds. The relationship between intention and manifestation in lucid dreams illustrates how conscious will can directly shape experienced reality. Unlike waking life, where intentions must be implemented through physical actions that may or may not achieve desired outcomes, lucid dreams often respond directly to conscious intention. A lucid dreamer who intends to visit a particular location might find themselves instantly transported there. One who wishes to experience a particular scenario might discover it spontaneously unfolding around them. This direct relationship between intention and manifestation in lucid dreams provides unique opportunities for exploring the nature of consciousness, will, and reality creation. Some lucid dreamers use their dream states as laboratories for investigating how mind influences experience, experimenting with different approaches to intention setting and reality modification that might have implications for understanding consciousness itself. The time distortion often experienced during lucid dreams adds another dimension to their heightened reality. Lucid dreamers sometimes report spending hours or even days within single dream episodes that correspond to much shorter periods of actual sleep. This time expansion allows for extended exploration of dream environments, complex interactions with dream characters, and detailed work on creative or personal development projects. The expanded time available during lucid dreams creates possibilities for experiences that would be impractical or impossible during waking hours. A dreamer might spend dream weeks learning a new skill, months exploring a fascinating environment, or years developing relationships with dream characters. These extended experiences often feel as meaningful and formative as comparable waking experiences, despite occurring entirely within the dreamer's own consciousness. The memory enhancement that often accompanies lucid dreams contributes to their lasting impact on the dreamer's life. Lucid dreams tend to be remembered more clearly and completely than ordinary dreams, perhaps because the conscious awareness present during the experience helps encode the memories more effectively. This enhanced recall allows lucid dreamers to integrate their dream experiences more fully into their waking lives and to build upon previous lucid dream experiences in subsequent episodes. The techniques for achieving lucid dreams have been studied and refined by researchers and practitioners worldwide. These methods typically involve developing greater awareness of the dream state through reality checking during waking hours, maintaining dream journals to improve dream recall and recognition patterns, and practicing meditation or other awareness-enhancing techniques that increase overall consciousness and self-reflection abilities. Some techniques focus on recognizing dream signs, recurring elements, or impossibilities that appear frequently in an individual's dreams and can serve as cues for achieving lucidity. Others emphasize wake-initiated lucid dreams, where the dreamer maintains consciousness while transitioning from waking to dreaming states. Still others use external cues, lights, sounds, or tactile sensations delivered during REM sleep to trigger lucid awareness without fully waking the dreamer. The individual variations in lucid dreaming ability reveal interesting aspects of consciousness and brain function. Some people achieve lucid dreams naturally and frequently without special training, while others find lucidity extremely difficult to achieve despite extensive practice. These differences might reflect variations in brain structure, neurotransmitter systems, or natural awareness and self-reflection capabilities. Research into the neuroscience of lucid dreaming is revealing the brain mechanisms that enable conscious awareness during dream states. Studies using EEG and brain imaging show that lucid dreams involve activation patterns that combine features of both REM sleep and waking consciousness. Certain activity brain regions associated with self-awareness and cognitive control show higher activity during lucid dreams than during ordinary dreams. While maintaining the overall pattern of REM sleep, the potential applications of lucid dreaming continue to expand as researchers explore its possibilities for education, therapy, creative development, and consciousness research. Virtual reality technologies are being combined with lucid dreaming techniques to create hybrid experiences that combine technological and consciousness-based approaches to reality modification. These developments suggest that lucid dreaming might eventually become a widely recognized tool for human development and exploration. The philosophical implications of lucid dreaming challenge conventional assumptions about the nature of reality, consciousness, and the relationship between mind and experience. If consciousness can create experiences that feel completely real using purely internal resources, what does this suggest about the nature of ordinary waking reality? If awareness can be maintained across different states of consciousness, what does this reveal about the fundamental nature of mind itself? Lucid dreaming represents a frontier where ancient wisdom traditions meet cutting-edge neuroscience, where subjective experience intersects with objective research, and where individual consciousness exploration contributes to broader understanding of human potential. Through the heightened awareness and enhanced reality that characterize lucid dreams, we gain insights not only into the nature of dreaming, but into the remarkable capabilities of consciousness itself when freed from its ordinary constraints and limitations. Theories of dream function, the question of why our minds generate such elaborate and vivid experiences during the hours we spend unconscious, has fascinated humanity for millennia, leading to a rich tapestry of theories that attempt to explain the purpose and significance of our nocturnal mental adventures. These activity theories during downtime, ranging from ancient philosophical speculations to cutting-edge neuroscientific hypotheses, suggests that vivid dreams serve far more complex and essential functions than mere random neural. The memory consolidation theory represents one of the most extensively researched and widely accepted explanations for why dreams occur with such intensity and detail. According during waking to this hour's perspective, the vivid experiences we encounter during sleep serve as a sophisticated process through which the brain organizes, integrates, and stores the vast amount of information encountered. Rather than being meaningless byproducts of neural maintenance, dreams become the subjective experience of one of the brain's most crucial functions. During our waking hours, we encounter an overwhelming stream of sensory information, emotional experiences, social interactions, and intellectual challenges. Our, with existing brain's knowledge, must somehow process this constant input, deciding which experiences deserve long-term storage, which memories need to be strengthened or modified, and how new information should be integrated. The memory consolidation theory suggests that dreams represent the conscious experience of these normally unconscious processes. The emotional intensity that characterizes vivid dreams supports this memory-focused interpretation. Emotions serve as natural tags that help the brain identify which experiences are important enough to remember. Events that provoke strong emotional responses, whether positive or negative, are more likely to be encoded into long-term memory and more likely to influence future behavior. The heightened emotions experienced during dreams might reflect the brain's process of evaluating and strengthening memories based on their emotional significance. The bizarre and illogical nature of many dreams also fits within the memory consolidation framework. As the brain sorts through recent experiences and attempts to integrate them with existing memories, it creates novel combinations and associations that might seem strange from a logical perspective, but serve important functions for learning and creativity. A dream that combines elements from different days, different people, and different contexts might represent the brain's attempt to identify patterns and connections across diverse experiences. The timing of different types of dreams throughout the night provides additional evidence for memory-related functions. Early dreams often incorporate elements from the recent past events from the current day or week that are still being processed and integrated. Later-term dreams memory frequently organization include older memories and more abstract or symbolic content, suggesting that the brain moves from processing recent specific experiences to working on broader patterns and longer research into the effects of dream deprivation on learning and memory has provided compelling evidence for the memory consolidation theory. When people are prevented from completing their normal dream cycles, they show impaired performance on learning tasks, reduced ability to form new memories, and difficulties with creative problem solving. These findings suggest that the dream process serves essential functions that cannot be easily replaced by other mental activities. The creative problem-solving theory offers another perspective on why dreams achieve such vividness and complexity. This associated approach suggests with real-world that dreams trials serve and as error laboratories for mental experimentation, allowing the mind to explore possibilities, test solutions, and generate innovations without the constraints and risks. The unusual logic of dreams, rather than being a flaw or meaningless byproduct, becomes a feature that enables types of thinking impossible during GAFA. Waking consciousness. The relaxation of logical constraints during dreams creates ideal conditions for creative thinking. Normal waking consciousness operates within strict boundaries of logic, social convention, and physical possibility. These constraints serve important functions during waking life, helping us navigate real-world challenges safely and effectively. But they can also limit creative thinking by preventing us from exploring unconventional solutions or considering possibilities that seem impossible or impractical. Dreams temporarily suspend these constraints, allowing the mind to make associations and explore combinations that would be rejected during waking thought. A dreamer might combine unrelated concepts, experience impossible scenarios, or discover solutions that violate normal logical processes but reveal innovative approaches to real problems. Many scientific discoveries, artistic creations, and technological innovations have been attributed to insights that emerged during dream states. The visual and emotional vividness of dreams supports their creative function by engaging multiple types of mental processing simultaneously. Creative solutions often require integration of logical analysis, emotional insight, visual imagination, and intuitive understanding. Dreams provide a state where all these processes can operate together without the usual hierarchical organization that characterizes waking thought. This integration might enable breakthroughs that wouldn't be possible through any single type of thinking alone. The threat simulation theory proposes that vivid dreams serve an evolutionary function by providing safe environments for practicing responses to dangerous or challenging situations. According to this perspective, dreams allow us to experience and rehearse reactions to threats, conflicts, and difficult scenarios without actual risk, helping to prepare us for similar challenges in waking life. The prevalence of fear, anxiety, and conflict in dreams supports this threat simulation interpretation. Many people report dreams involving being chased, attacked, lost, or faced with various forms of danger. While these experiences can be unpleasant, they might serve important functions by allowing the dreamer to practice fear responses, escape strategies, and problem-solving approaches in safe environments. The emotional intensity of threatening dreams might be essential to their preparatory function. If dream threats felt trivial or unreal, they wouldn't provide effective practice for real-world challenges. The needed vivid fear, stress, and urgency experienced during threatening dreams might help strengthen neural pathways associated with survival responses, making these reactions more readily available when actually the social aspects of many dreams also fit within the threat simulation framework. Dreams often involve complex social scenarios, conflicts with family members, romantic relationships, workplace challenges, or interactions with strangers. These social dreams might serve as practice sessions for navigating the complex interpersonal challenges that have been crucial for human survival throughout our evolutionary history. The emotional regulation theory suggests that dreams serve important functions in processing and managing the emotional experiences of daily life, according consciousness to. This perspective, the emotional intensity of dreams reflects the brain's efforts to work through feelings that might be too overwhelming, complex, or socially inappropriate to process fully during waking. This emotional processing function might explain why dreams often feel more emotionally intense than waking experiences. During sleep, the normal constraints on emotional expression become relaxed, allowing feelings to be experienced and explored more fully. Dreams might provide opportunities to feel anger without consequences, experience love without vulnerability, or confront fears without actual danger. The symbolic nature of dream content supports the emotional processing interpretation. Dreams often express emotional themes through metaphorical scenarios rather than literal recreations of waking experiences. A person dealing with feelings of being overwhelmed at work might dream of drowning or being trapped. Someone struggling with relationship conflicts might dream of fighting with strangers or animals. These symbolic representations might allow for emotional processing while maintaining psychological safety. The integration theory proposes that dreams serve functions related to maintaining overall psychological health by integrating diverse aspects of experience into coherent personal narratives. This perspective suggests that dreams help maintain psychological continuity and identity by weaving together memories, emotions, goals, and values into meaningful patterns. The autobiographical aspects of dreams support this integration interpretation. Dreams often combine elements from different periods of the dreamer's life, creating scenarios that bridge past and present experiences. These temporal combinations might help maintain psychological continuity by connecting current challenges with relevant past experiences and learned coping strategies. The way dreams incorporate current concerns with ongoing personality themes suggests an integration function. Dreams often address present difficulties through the lens of persistent psychological patterns, helping to maintain consistency between how individuals handle new challenges and their established approaches to life. This integration might contribute to psychological stability and personal growth. The neuroplasticity theory suggests that the intense neural activity during dreams serves functions related to brain development and maintenance. According to this perspective, the vivid experiences of dreaming reflect the brain's processes of forming new neural connections, strengthening existing pathways, and maintaining overall neural health. The high levels of brain activity during REM sleep, particularly in areas associated with learning and memory, support this neuroplasticity interpretation. The brain might use dream periods to physically restructure neural networks based on recent experiences, strengthening connections that prove useful and weakening those that were less effective. The changes in brain chemistry during dreams might facilitate neuroplasticity processes by creating optimal conditions for neural growth and reorganization. The altered neurotransmitter balance during REM sleep might help neurons form new connections more easily while protecting existing networks from damage. The consciousness exploration theory proposes that dreams serve functions related to expanding and exploring the possibilities of consciousness itself. This perspective suggests that dreams provide opportunities to experience alternative forms of awareness, perception, and being that contribute to overall psychological and spiritual development. The altered perception of time, space, identity, and possibility in dreams supports this consciousness exploration interpretation. Dreams might serve as natural laboratories for exploring different modes of consciousness, helping individuals understand the flexibility and potential of their own awareness. The mystical and transcendent experiences that sometimes occur during dreams might represent the consciousness exploration function at work. Dreams that involve encounters with spiritual figures, experiences of cosmic unity, or insights into the nature of existence might serve important functions in psychological and spiritual development. The multifunctional theory acknowledges that dreams likely serve several different functions simultaneously rather than having a single primary purpose. This integrated approach suggests that the complexity and vividness of dreams reflect their role in addressing multiple aspects of mental and emotional health. Different simulation types of dreams might serve different primary functions, with some focusing more on memory consolidation, others on emotional processing, and still others on creative problem-solving or threat. Individual dreams might address several functions within a single episode, creating the rich, multifaceted experiences that characterize vivid dreaming. The ongoing research into dream functions continues to reveal new possibilities and refine existing theories. Advanced waking life neuroscience outcomes techniques are providing increasingly detailed pictures of what happens in the brain during different types of dreams, while psychological research explores how dream experiences relate to understanding dream functions has practical implications for sleep hygiene, mental health treatment, creative development, overall well-being. As we learn more about why dreams occur and what purposes they serve, we can develop better approaches to supporting healthy dreaming and addressing sleep-related problems. The question of dream function ultimately connects to fundamental questions about the nature of consciousness, the purpose of mental activity, and the relationship between mind and brain. Whether dreams serve single or multiple functions, their vivid reality and emotional impact suggest they play important roles in human psychology that extend far beyond simple neural housekeeping during sleep. Modern vivid dream neuroscience experiences and dream research. The advent of sophisticated brain imaging technologies and advanced neuroscientific research methods has revolutionized our understanding of the ADBN mechanisms that create, revealing a level of complexity and precision in dream generation that far exceeds what earlier generations of researchers could have imagined. Through the use of electroencephalography, functional magnetic resonance imaging, positron emission tomography, and other cutting-edge techniques, contemporary scientists have begun to map the intricate neural choreography that transforms ordinary brain activity into the extraordinary experiences we encounter during our most memorable dreams. Modern sleep laboratories have become sophisticated observatories for studying the dreaming brain in action. These facilities use multiple monitoring systems simultaneously to track brain waves, eye movements, muscle activity, heart rate, breathing patterns, and various hormonal fluctuations throughout the night. By dream correlating experiences, these objective measurements with subjective dream reports from research participants, scientists have begun to identify the specific neurological conditions that give rise to different types of the development of high-resolution EEG systems has provided unprecedented insights into the electrical activity patterns that characterize vivid dreaming. These episodes advanced systems can monitor brain activity from hundreds of different locations simultaneously, creating detailed maps of how neural activity flows across different brain regions during dream. The resulting data reveals that vivid dreams involve complex patterns of neural coordination that extend across virtually every major brain system. One of the most significant discoveries of modern dream research has been the identification of specific brainwave patterns that correlate with dream vividness and recall. Researchers have found that particularly intense dreams often coincide with unique combinations of brainwave frequencies that suggest heightened communication between normally independent brain regions. These patterns indicate that vivid dreams involve not just increased activity in individual brain areas, but enhanced coordination and information sharing across the entire neural network. Functional magnetic resonance imaging studies have revealed which brain regions become most active during different phases of vivid dreams. The visual cortex shows dramatic activation during dreams with rich imagery, often displaying activity levels that exceed those observed during the most visually demanding waking tasks. The emotional processing centers, particularly the amygdala and related limbic structures, show intense activation that corresponds to the emotional intensity reported by dreamers upon awakening. Perhaps most intriguingly, modern imaging techniques have revealed that the brain regions responsible for self-awareness and reality testing show decreased activity during vivid dreams, while areas associated with emotional processing, memory formation, and sensory simulation become hyperactive. This unrealistic neurological during waking pattern consciousness helps explain why dreams can feel completely real and emotionally meaningful while incorporating impossible or illogical elements that would be immediately recognized. As the study of neurotransmitter systems during dreaming has provided crucial insights into the chemical mechanisms that enable vivid dream experiences, advanced measurement techniques have revealed how levels of acetylcholine, dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, and other key neurotransmitters fluctuate throughout different phases of the sleep cycle. These chemical changes create the unique neurological environment necessary for generating dream experiences that can feel more real and emotionally significant than many waking experiences. Research into the role of acetylcholine in dream generation has been particularly illuminating. Scientists have discovered that this neurotransmitter doesn't just increase during REM sleep. It shows specific patterns of release that correspond to different aspects of dream experience. Surges in acetylcholine activity correlate with the onset of vivid visual imagery, while sustained high levels correspond to the maintenance of complex dream narratives over extended periods. The investigation of dopamine's role in dream experiences has revealed how this neurotransmitter contributes to the sense of significance and reward that characterizes many vivid dreams. Modern research techniques have shown that dopamine systems during dreams operate with different patterns than during waking hours, creating conditions where dream experiences can feel incredibly meaningful and motivating even when they involve impossible or bizarre scenarios. Studies of serotonin suppression during REM sleep have provided insights into why dreams often violate logical constraints and social conventions. The dramatic decrease in serotonin activity during vivid dreams appears to disable many of the neural systems that normally maintain logical coherence and social appropriateness in thought and behavior. This neurochemical disinhibition allows dream consciousness to explore possibilities and express emotions that would be suppressed during normal waking awareness. Advanced brain stimulation techniques have opened new avenues for understanding and potentially influencing dream experiences. Researchers have discovered that carefully targeted electrical stimulation during REM sleep can enhance certain aspects of dream vividness without disrupting the natural sleep cycle. These techniques have revealed that specific brain circuits are responsible for different components of dream experience, and that these circuits can be selectively influenced through external intervention. Transcranial direct current stimulation applied to specific brain regions during REM sleep has been shown to increase dream lucidity, enhance visual imagery, or strengthen dream recall. These exploration findings suggest of dream states that the neural mechanisms underlying vivid dreams are precise enough to be modified through targeted interventions, opening possibilities for therapeutic applications and the development of real-time dream monitoring systems represents one of the most exciting advances in contemporary dream research. These systems can detect the onset of REM sleep and specific dream states, then provide immediate feedback to researchers or even to the dreamers themselves. Some experimental setups can identify when a participant is having a particularly vivid dream and then record detailed brain activity patterns during these episodes. These real-time monitoring capabilities have enabled researchers to study the moment-by-moment neural changes that occur during dream experiences. They can observe how brain activity shifts when dreams become more or less vivid, when emotional intensity increases or decreases, or when dreamers transition between different types of dream content. This temporal resolution provides insights into the dynamic processes that create and maintain vivid dream experiences. The study of individual differences in dream vividness has revealed fascinating variations in brain structure and function that correlate with dream experiences. People who consistently report vivid, memorable dreams often show different patterns of brain connectivity, particularly in areas that link emotional processing centers with memory formation systems. These individuals might have naturally enhanced communication between the limbic system and the prefrontal cortex, allowing for more effective encoding of dream experiences into long-term memory. Neuroimaging studies have identified structural differences in the brains of high dream recallers compared to those who rarely remember their dreams. High recallers often show increased gray matter density in regions associated with attention, self-awareness, and memory processing. They have also awareness displayed different patterns of brain activity during both sleeping and waking states, suggesting that dream vividness might reflect fundamental differences in how consciousness operates across all states. The investigation of sleep disorders has provided unique insights into the mechanisms of vivid dreaming by revealing what happens when these systems malfunction. People intensity with REM. Behavior disorder who lack the normal muscle paralysis during REM sleep sometimes act out their dreams physically, providing researchers with direct observation of dream content, and these actual cases, behavior demonstrate that vivid dreams involve motor planning and execution systems even when the body cannot respond, suggesting that dream experiences engage the same neural networks used for studies conditions are of teen. Individuals established with narcolepsy who can enter REM sleep directly from waking consciousness have revealed how quickly vivid dream experiences can emerge when the appropriate neurochemical, these REM racket patterns, transitions from wake to vivid dream demonstrate that the neural mechanisms for creating intense dream experiences can be activated almost instantaneously when the brain chemistry shifts to DAL. The research into dream content analysis has been revolutionized by the application of artificial intelligence and machine learning techniques to large data sets of dream reports. These computational approaches can identify patterns in dream content that correlate with specific brain activity patterns, life experiences, and psychological characteristics. The analysis reveals that vivid dreams often contain consistent themes and structures that reflect both universal human concerns and individual psychological patterns. Advanced Development Statistical analysis of thousands of dream reports has revealed that vivid dreams tend to follow certain structural patterns in terms of character interactions, emotional progression, and narrative. These patterns suggest that the dream generation process follows systematic rules that create coherent experiences, even when the content seems bizarre or illogical from a waking perspective. The development of brain-computer interfaces has opened possibilities for direct communication with the dreaming mind that seemed like science fiction just decades ago. Researchers Dreamer have created systems that can detect specific dream states and provide external stimuli, sounds, lights, or even direct neural stimulation that can influence dream content without waking. These techniques allow for unprecedented control over dream experiences and provide new methods for studying how external influences affect dream vividness and content. Some experiencing experimental systems can even translate brain activity patterns during dreams into rough approximations of dream imagery, creating primitive but recognizable reconstructions of what dreamers are while still in early stages. These technologies suggest that the visual content of dreams follows predictable neural patterns that can be decoded and potentially even recorded for later playback. The study of medications and substances that affect dreaming has provided pharmacological insights into the mechanisms of vivid dream generation. Researchers have systematically studied how various drugs influence dream vividness, emotional intensity, and recall. These dream studies have revealed that even small changes in neurotransmitter balance can dramatically alter dream experiences, providing evidence for the precise chemical requirements necessary for generating vivid antidepressants that increase serotonin levels, often suppress vivid dreaming, while their withdrawal can lead to remarkably intense dream experiences as the brain adjusts to changing chemical conditions. Medications that affect acetylcholine systems can either enhance or diminish dream vividness, depending on whether they stimulate or block these neurotransmitter pathways. These pharmacological effects provide strong evidence for the specific chemical mechanisms underlying dream intensity. The investigation of meditation and consciousness practices has revealed how contemplative traditions might naturally enhance dream vividness and awareness. Brain experiences imaging studies of experienced meditators show enhanced activity in areas associated with self-awareness and attention regulation, which might contribute to more vivid and memorable dreams. Some meditation practices, specifically designed to enhance dream awareness, show measurable effects on brain activity during both waking and sleeping states. Research into the effects of various lifestyle factors on dream vividness has revealed how diet, exercise, stress levels, and sleep schedules influence the intensity of dream experiences. People generation who maintain regular sleep schedules and healthy lifestyle habits often report more vivid and memorable dreams, possibly because consistent patterns support optimal brain chemistry for dream. The timing of food intake, particularly foods that affect neurotransmitter production, can influence dream experiences hours later. During sleep, certain nutrients that serve as precursors for neurotransmitters involved in dreaming can enhance dream vividness when consumed at appropriate times before sleep. The development of virtual reality technologies has provided new tools for studying how the brain creates immersive experiences, offering insights relevant to understanding dream vividness. Researchers have discovered that many of the same neural processes involved in creating convincing virtual reality experiences are also active during vivid dreams. This suggests that dreams might represent the brain's natural virtual reality system, using internal simulation capabilities to create convincing alternative realities. Studies comparing brain activity during virtual reality experiences with activity during REM sleep have revealed striking similarities in how the brain processes immersive, artificial environments. Both states involve reduced activity in areas responsible for distinguishing between internal and external experiences, while showing heightened activity in sensory processing and emotional response systems. The investigation of cultural and social factors in dream experiences has been enhanced by modern research techniques that can correlate brain activity patterns with cultural background and social experiences. These cultural studies' context reveal that while and the individual fundamental life neurological experiences mechanisms of vivid dreaming appear universal, the specific content and emotional associations of dreams are significantly influenced by brain and values imaging studies of people from different cultural backgrounds show similar patterns of activation during vivid dreams. But the specific networks that become most active vary based on cultural experiences. This suggests that while all humans share the basic capacity for vivid dreaming, cultural factors help determine which aspects of this capacity become most developed and prominent. The study of children's dreams has provided insights into how vivid dreaming capabilities develop throughout the lifespan. Young developmental children periods often report dreams with extraordinary vividness and creativity, suggesting that the neural mechanisms for generating intense dream experiences might actually be more active during brain vividness imaging. Of childhood studies, dreams of children during sleep show different patterns of activity compared to adults, with some regions showing higher levels of activation that might contribute to the remarkable creativity and research into aging. Dream experiences has revealed how changes in brain structure and chemistry throughout the lifespan affect dream vividness and recall, while change some aspects of dreaming decline with age, others appear to become more refined or focused, suggesting that dream experiences continue to serve important functions throughout life, even as their characteristics, the investigation of gender. Differences in dream experiences has revealed both neurological and psychological factors that contribute to variations in dream vividness and content. Brain imaging studies show some differences in how men and women process emotional content during dreams, which might contribute to reported differences in dream themes and emotional intensity. The study of seasonal and circadian influences on dream experiences has revealed how natural biological rhythms affect dream vividness and content. The brain's times of internal night. Clock systems influence neurotransmitter production and brain activity patterns throughout the day and night, creating conditions that can enhance or diminish dream intensity during different seasons. Research into the effects of light exposure on dream body experiences has shown that the natural light-dark cycle plays important roles in regulating the brain chemistry necessary for vivid dreams. Disruptions to natural light patterns, whether from shift work, travel across time zones, or artificial lighting, can significantly affect dream vividness and emotional content. The development of personalized approaches to dream research has been enabled by advances in data analysis and monitoring technology. Researchers' persons unique can now dreaming track patterns individual, patterns of brain activity, sleep architecture, and dream experiences over extended periods, creating detailed profiles of how specific factors influence each. These personalized approaches have revealed that optimal conditions for vivid dreaming vary significantly among individuals, with some people naturally experiencing their most intense dreams during early morning hours, while others have peak dream experiences during different sleep phases. Understanding these individual variations might lead to personalized recommendations for enhancing dream experiences or addressing sleep-related problems. The integration of multiple research approaches has created a more comprehensive understanding of vivid dreaming than any single method could provide alone. By combining brain imaging, chemical analysis, behavioral studies, and subjective reports, researchers have developed sophisticated models of how complex interactions among multiple brain systems create the extraordinary experiences we encounter during our most memorable dreams. Modern neuroscience continues to reveal new aspects of dream generation and vividness, with each technological advance providing additional insights into these remarkable experiences. The field stands at the threshold of even more dramatic discoveries as emerging technologies provide unprecedented access to the working brain during sleep states. The practical applications of modern dream research extend far beyond academic curiosity. Understanding the mechanisms of vivid dreaming has implications for treating sleep disorders, enhancing creativity and problem-solving, addressing psychological trauma, and potentially even developing new forms of entertainment and education that leverage the brain's natural capacity for creating immersive experiences. As research continues to advance, the boundary between dreams and technology becomes increasingly blurred, with possibilities emerging for enhancing natural dream experiences, recording and sharing dreams, and even creating hybrid states that combine technological augmentation with the brain's natural dreaming capabilities. These human mind developments suggest that our understanding of vivid dreams will continue to evolve in ways that might fundamentally change how we think about consciousness, reality, and the remarkable capabilities of the lingering mysteries. Despite the remarkable advances in our understanding of the dreaming mind, fundamental mysteries remain that continue to challenge researchers, philosophers, and dreamers themselves. These enigmas persist at the very heart of dream science, reminding us that for all our technological sophistication and theoretical frameworks, the experience of vivid dreaming touches on aspects of consciousness that may forever elude complete explanation. Perhaps the most perplexing mystery involves the extraordinary individual variations in dream experiences that exist among seemingly similar people. Why do some individuals experience vivid, memorable dreams almost every night, while others living nearly identical lives rarely recall any dream content at all? This question becomes even more intriguing when we consider that brain imaging studies often show similar neural architecture and similar patterns of sleep stages across these different groups. Yet their subjective experiences of dreaming differ dramatically. The mystery deepens when we examine cases of identical twins raised in similar environments who show completely different patterns of dream recall and vividness. One twin might report rich, detailed dreams filled with emotional intensity and creative content, while the other experiences only vague fragments or no recalled dreams at all. These cases suggest that factors beyond genetics, brain structure, and environment must influence dream experiences, pointing toward unknown variables that might be fundamental to consciousness itself. Research into this individual variation has revealed some correlating factors: differences in brain connectivity patterns, variations in neurotransmitter sensitivity, and subtle distinctions in sleep architecture, but these findings explain only a small portion of the observed differences. The picture, vast. Majority of the variation in dream experiences among individuals remains unexplained, suggesting that our current understanding of dream mechanisms captures only part of a much more complex. The phenomenon of shared or mutual dreams represents another enduring mystery that challenges, quote, conventional understanding of dream generation. Through normal history means, and across cultures, people have reported experiencing dreams that seem to be shared with others, where multiple dreamers encounter similar scenarios, characters, or information that they could not have known. While such reports are often dismissed as coincidence or unconscious information sharing, some cases involve details and timing that are difficult to explain through conventional BFAS mechanisms. Modern access to before-research sleep has occasionally documented cases where people sleeping in the same location report remarkably similar dream content, sometimes involving specific details that neither dreamer had conscious. While networks, these similar cases remain rare and difficult to study systematically. They raise intriguing questions about whether dream consciousness might sometimes operate according to principles that transcend individual neural. The mystery of prophetic or precognitive dreams continues to puzzle researchers and dreamers alike. While most dreams that seem to predict future events can be explained through coincidence, selective memory, or unconscious processing of available information, some cases involve specific details about future events that appear impossible to explain through known psychological or neurological mechanisms. The challenge for researchers lies in distinguishing between the many false or explicable cases and the rare instances that might represent genuine anomalies worthy of serious investigation. The subjective certainty that many dreamers feel about prophetic dreams adds another layer to this mystery. Even when dreams fail to predict actual events, dreamers often maintain strong convictions about their prophetic nature based on the emotional intensity and vividness of the dream experience. This suggests that the dreaming mind might operate according to different criteria for evaluating truth and significance than those used during waking consciousness. The question of consciousness during deep dreamless sleep represents a fundamental mystery that touches on the nature of awareness itself. While coherent to we be know simple that vivid hypnagogic dreams occur hallucinations primarily during REM phases. People sometimes report awakening from deep non-REM sleep with clear memories of experiences that seem too detailed, and these reports suggest that some form of consciousness might persist during sleep phases where brain activity patterns suggest complete unconsciousness. The nature of this potential non-REM consciousness remains completely mysterious. Brain imaging during deep sleep shows minimal activity in areas associated with awareness and memory formation, yet some people consistently report meaningful experiences during these phases. Whether these experiences represent genuine consciousness operating through unknown mechanisms or reflect memory distortions and temporal confusions remains an open question. The mystery of why certain dream experiences feel more real than waking life continues to challenge our understanding of consciousness and reality perception. Some dreamers report dream experiences that feel more vivid, emotionally authentic, and meaningful than any comparable waking experience. These dreams often involve enhanced sensory perception, deeper emotional engagement, and greater sense of presence and significance than typical waking consciousness provides. This enhanced reality in dreams seems to contradict the common assumption that waking consciousness represents the most complete and authentic form of human awareness. If the dreaming brain can create experiences that feel more real than actual reality, this experience raises profound questions about the nature of consciousness, the relationship between subjective experience and objective reality, and the criteria we use to evaluate the authenticity of the phenomenon of dream characters who seem to possess autonomous knowledge and personalities represents another enduring mystery. Many dreamers report encounters with dream figures who provide information, insights, or perspectives that the dreamer doesn't consciously possess. These characters sometimes display consistent personalities across multiple dreams, demonstrate knowledge that surprises the dreamer, or offer advice that proves valuable in waking life. The apparent autonomy of dream characters challenges conventional understanding of dreams as purely products of the individual dreamer's mind. If all dream content originates from the dreamer's own neural activity, how can dream characters display knowledge or perspectives that seem genuinely foreign to the dreamer's conscious awareness? This ordinary mystery awareness touches on fundamental questions about the nature of mind, the boundaries of individual consciousness, and the possibility that dreaming might provide access to information or perspectives beyond the timing mystery of dreams continues to puzzle researchers despite decades of investigation. The relationship between dream duration and real-time passage remains unclear, with some dreams seeming to unfold over hours or days while corresponding to only minutes of actual sleep time. Other dreams appear to occur instantaneously, with complex narratives apparently taking place in the moments between external stimuli and awakening. This temporal flexibility in dreams suggests that consciousness might operate according to different principles of time and causality than those governing physical reality. The ability to experience extended narratives in compressed time periods implies that the dreaming mind possesses temporal processing capabilities that transcend normal limitations. Yet the mechanisms enabling this temporal manipulation remain completely unknown. The mystery of why dreams fade so rapidly upon awakening represents one of the most universally experienced yet poorly understood aspects of dreaming. Dreams that feel overwhelmingly significant and memorable during the experience can become completely inaccessible within minutes of awakening, leaving only vague impressions and emotional residues. This rapid forgetting occurs despite the intense emotional and sensory engagement that characterizes vivid dreams. The mechanisms responsible for dream forgetting appear to operate differently than those governing normal memory loss. Dreams' consciousness don't gradually fade like typical memories. Instead, they often disappear abruptly and completely, suggesting that special processes might actively erase dream content during the transition to waking. Understanding why this erasure occurs and whether it serves specific functions remains an open question with, quote, implications for memory research, consciousness studies, and sleep medicine. The question of whether animals experience vivid dreams similar to humans represents another fascinating mystery with implications for understanding consciousness across species. While we know that many animals display REM sleep patterns similar to humans, their subjective experiences during these states remain inaccessible to direct study. The behaviors displayed by some animals during REM sleep suggest complex mental activity that might correspond to vivid dreaming, but confirming the presence of subjective dream experiences in non-human species remains impossible with current methods. The evolutionary mystery of why vivid dreaming would have been preserved across multiple species, despite its apparent costs in terms of trash, energy expenditure and vulnerability during sleep, suggests that these experiences serve crucial functions that we might not yet fully understand. The sophistication and universality of dreaming across mammalian species implies that vivid dream experiences represent fundamental aspects of consciousness rather than mere byproducts of neural activity. The mystery of dream healing and problem solving continues to intrigue researchers and practitioners alike. Many people report that dreams have provided solutions to problems they couldn't solve through conscious effort, healing from emotional trauma, or insights that led to significant positive changes in their lives. While solving some of these effects capabilities can be explained through known psychological mechanisms, others seem to involve processes that transcend conventional understanding of how mental activity influences well-being and problem, the Brashti. Therapeutic potential of dreams remains largely untapped due to our incomplete understanding of how dream experiences influence waking psychological states. Some therapeutic approaches incorporate dream work, but the mechanisms through which dream experiences create lasting positive changes remain mysterious and difficult to predict or control. The cultural mystery of why certain dream themes appear consistently across all human societies despite vastly different life experiences. Environmental conditions suggests that some aspects of dreaming might reflect fundamental features of human consciousness rather than learned cultural patterns. Dreams of flying, falling, being chased, encountering deceased relatives, and experiencing transformations appear in virtually every culture that has recorded dream experiences. These universal themes might represent what Carl Jung called the collective unconscious shared psychological patterns that transcend individual and cultural differences. However, the mechanisms that would enable such shared psychological content remain completely unknown, challenging conventional understanding of how individual consciousness develops and operates. The mystery of creative inspiration through dreams continues to fascinate artists, scientists, and researchers interested in the sources of human creativity. Many breakthrough discoveries, artistic masterpieces, and innovative solutions have been attributed to dream experiences that provided complete, detailed visions of final products. These creative dreams often involve levels of sophistication and originality that seem to exceed the dreamer's conscious creative abilities. The question of where this enhanced creativity originates during dreams remains unanswered. Whether creative dream experiences represent the operation of unconscious mental processes that are normally inaccessible to consciousness, the result of novel combinations of existing knowledge, or the emergence of genuinely new insights through unknown mechanisms, continues to be debated among researchers and theorists. The enduring mystery of dream reality challenges our fundamental assumptions about consciousness, perception, and the nature of authentic experience. If the dreaming brain can create experiences that feel completely real and meaningful using purely internal resources, this raises profound questions about the reliability of all conscious experience and the criteria we use to distinguish between genuine and artificial realities. As virtual reality technologies become increasingly sophisticated, the line between technologically created and naturally occurring alternate realities continues to blur. Understanding how the dreaming mind creates convincing alternative realities might provide insights relevant to developing more effective virtual environments. But it also raises philosophical questions about the nature of authentic experience. In an age where artificial realities become increasingly indistinguishable from natural ones, the mystery of why dreams matter so deeply to human experience persists despite all attempts at explanation. Even when dreams are dismissed as meaningless neural activity, they continue to influence emotions, inspire creativity, provide comfort, and generate insights that affect waking life in significant ways. The aspects disconnect between of dream scientific research explanations that reduce dreams to mechanical processes and the subjective experience of dreams as meaningful. Significant experiences represents one of the most challenging. This meaning-making mystery touches on fundamental questions about the relationship between objective scientific description and subjective, conscious experience. Whether dreams derive their significance from unknown objective properties or from the meaning-making capacities of consciousness itself remains an open question with implications that extend far beyond dream research to encompass basic issues in consciousness studies and philosophy of mind. The persistence of these mysteries serves not as evidence for the failure of scientific inquiry, but as reminders of the profound depths that remain to be explored in understanding human consciousness. Each generation's advance in to come dream research seems to reveal new questions and deeper complexities rather than providing final answers, suggesting that the study of dreams will continue to challenge and inspire researchers for as we stand at the threshold of new technologies and methodologies that might provide unprecedented access to the dreaming mind. These enduring mysteries remind us that some aspects of human experience might always retain elements that transcend complete explanation. The vivid dreams that visit us each night represent not just neurological phenomena to be decoded, but windows into the deepest mysteries of what it means to be conscious beings capable of creating meaning, beauty, and understanding from the raw materials of neural activity and lived experience. In confronting these mysteries, we encounter not just the limitations of current scientific understanding, but existence, the profound wonder that emerges when we contemplate the extraordinary capabilities of consciousness to create experiences that challenge our assumptions about reality, meaning, and the nature of authentic. The mysteries of vivid dreaming remind us that being human involves participating in phenomena that may forever exceed our complete understanding while continuing to enrich, inspire, call, and transform our lives in ways that no amount of explanation can fully capture or replace. Closing existence reflection. As we reach the end of our journey through the extraordinary landscape of vivid dreams, we find ourselves standing at the edge of one of the most profound and beautiful mysteries that defines human behind our closed "C." AIs each night. Our minds embark upon adventures that can surpass anything we encounter during our waking hours, creating experiences so rich and meaningful that they continue to influence our thoughts, emotions, and understanding long after we return to ordinary consciousness. The science we have explored reveals a brain of staggering complexity and sophistication, one that possesses the remarkable ability to construct entire worlds from nothing more than patterns of neural activity. Through mind, the orchestrated become master interplay artists of neurotransmitters, the hyperactivation of visual cortex, the emotional intensity generated by the amygdala, and the complex choreography of REM, are sleeping, creating experiences that engage every aspect of our consciousness with an intensity and creativity that often exceeds our waking capabilities. Yet vivid for dreams, all the fascinating remains, details beautifully we intact, have uncovered about acetylcholine and dopamine, about brainwaves and neural networks, about memory consolidation and threat simulation. The ultimate mystery of science has illuminated the mechanisms through which dreams arise. But the deeper question of why these experiences feel so profoundly significant to those who have them continues to challenge our understanding. Perhaps this enduring mystery reflects something fundamental about the nature of consciousness itself. Dreams remind us that reality is more flexible and consciousness more creative than we typically recognize during our waking hours. They demonstrate that the boundary between what feels real and what is objectively real may be less absolute than we usually assume, and that meaning and significance can emerge from experiences regardless of their origin in physical or mental processes. The preservation cultural accounts. We have explored reveal that throughout human history, across every society and civilization, people have recognized vivid dreams as experiences worthy of attention, interpretation, and this universal recognition suggests that dreams touch on aspects of human experience that transcend cultural boundaries and historical periods, addressing fundamental aspects of what it means to be conscious beings capable of creating meaning from the raw materials of experience. The diversity individual of variations human experience in dream. Experiences that continue to puzzle researchers remind us that consciousness expresses itself differently in each person, creating unique inner worlds that reflect the infinite. Some minds naturally generate vivid dream experiences that feel as real and significant as any waking event, while others travel through sleep in ways that leave little trace in memory. These differences don't represent superiority or deficiency, but rather the beautiful diversity of ways that consciousness can manifest and express itself. The therapeutic potential of understanding dreams suggests that these nocturnal experiences might serve functions that extend beyond mere entertainment or neural maintenance. Dreams might represent natural processes of healing, integration, and growth that operate beyond the reach of conscious control or intention. They provide safe spaces for processing difficult emotions, exploring creative possibilities, and practicing responses to life's challenges without risk or consequence. The technological advances that continue to expand our ability to study and potentially influence dream experiences raise fascinating questions about the future of human consciousness. As we develop more sophisticated methods for monitoring, recording, and even sharing dream experiences, we might discover capabilities of the dreaming mind that we cannot currently imagine. The boundary between natural dreaming and technologically enhanced consciousness might become increasingly fluid, opening possibilities for human experience that transcend traditional limitations. The philosophical implications of vivid dreams extend far beyond sleep research to encompass fundamental questions about reality, consciousness, and meaning. If our brains can create experiences that feel completely authentic using purely internal resources, what does this tell us about the nature of authentic experience itself? If awareness consciousness itself can generate worlds of beauty, meaning, and significance from nothing more than patterns of neural activity, perhaps this reveals something profound about the creative potential that lies at the heart of the lingering mysteries we have explored, serve not as frustrations, but as invitations to wonder, reminding us that some aspects of human experience might always exceed our complete understanding while continuing to enrich our lives in ways that no amount of explanation can fully capture. The fact that dreams often fade upon awakening might itself serve important functions. Allowing these experiences to influence our lives through subtle emotional and creative channels, rather than overwhelming our waking consciousness with their intensity. The question of why some people dream vividly while others do not might ultimately be less important than recognizing that consciousness expresses itself through countless different pathways and patterns. Each individual's unique relationship with dreaming reflects the broader truth that consciousness is not a uniform phenomenon, rather a spectrum of possibilities that manifests differently in each person according to factors we are only beginning to understand. As we continue to explore the mechanisms of vivid dreaming, we might discover that these experiences serve as windows into capabilities of consciousness that remain largely untapped during normal waking awareness. Dreams might represent glimpses of what consciousness can accomplish when freed from the constraints and limitations that normally govern our mental activity. In this sense, vivid dreams might not be aberrations or byproducts of sleep, but rather expressions of consciousness operating at its most creative and unrestricted levels. The future of dream research promises continued revelations about the nature of consciousness, creativity, and human potential. As our technologies become more sophisticated and our understanding deepens, we might develop new ways to support healthy dreaming, address sleep-related problems, and perhaps even enhance the natural dreaming process to support learning, healing, and personal growth. Yet regardless of what new discoveries await, the fundamental wonder of vivid dreams will likely persist. Each night, as we close our eyes and surrender to sleep, we embark upon journeys into realms of experience that can exceed anything available during our waking hours. We become explorers of inner worlds, adventurers in landscapes of possibility, creators of stories and experiences that can inspire, heal, and transform us in ways that ripple through our entire lives. The vivid dreams that visit us in the darkness are reminders of the extraordinary nature of consciousness itself. They demonstrate that within each human mind lies the capacity to create worlds of beauty, meaning, and significance that can rival anything found in external reality. They forever exceed us that being complete conscious explanation means participating in processes of such profound creativity and depth that they continue to challenge our understanding while enriching our experience in ways that may, in the end. Perhaps the greatest gift of vivid dreams is not the answers they provide, but the questions they inspire, the wonder they generate, and the reminder they offer that consciousness is far more creative, flexible, and beautiful than we typically recognize during our ordinary waking moments. Each morning when we wake with the lingering memory of a vivid dream, we carry with us evidence of the remarkable creative potential that lies within the depths of our own awareness. waiting to surprise and inspire us whenever we surrender to the mystery of sleep and allow our minds to wander freely through the infinite possibilities of the dreaming imagination.